Welcome to the Dirt Life Show with your host, George Hamill.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 116 of the Dirt Life Show. Thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Tonight we have tons of cool stuff that we're going to talk to you about. But first, we are IMG Motorsports headquarters in Lake Elsinore, California, with the People's Champ himself, James Hill.
Good evening, everybody.
So, it's going to be a good show. We got tons and tons of stuff to talk about. We're going to get a whole bunch of guests on here. Kyle Chaney's already trying to join us, so we're going to get him on in just a couple seconds here. But, yeah, man, it's going to be a really, really good show. We can't wait to, have some good fun with you guys tonight. I don't know about you, dude. This is the second time I've gone to KOH. That stuff is gnarly. Rocks are so gnarly, dude.
The rocks are intense.
Dude.
I mean, we only got to witness a little bit. You and I both have not raced King of the Hammers.
Yep.
I've pitted year after year for different teams and various people. However, going and watching more of what's going on, spectating more than just being out at remote pits. I mean, we got to see a lot more this year.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And to be like a part of that, like the culture and see what everybody was doing was rad. So, like I said, we got tons of people we're going to talk to tonight. But before we give you guys a list of who we're going to talk to, feel free to share the show. You guys can, in fact, when you guys watch the live, you guys can jump over there and a little button shows up at the bottom that says you can share it with other people. So share the show. Help us out as much as possible. And let other people know. We really appreciate all you guys and everything that you guys have been doing for us. Man, we had so many people walk up to us and say that we were doing such a great job at KOH. So it means a lot to me. It means a lot to James. It means a lot to all of us that are putting in all the effort for the show, like all of our sponsors. So thank you to the guys over at KMC Wheels for always being a part of the show. Ryan over there do a fantastic job. Dude, what motor oil do you use in your side-by-side?
It's just Motul. That's it.
Dude.
That's a gig.
This stuff is going quick, too. You guys almost powered through all that stuff.
I use it on the dirt bikes, everything.
So thank you to the guys over at Motul for supporting the show. If you got any questions on what oil to put in your side-by-side, give James a call over here at IMG, or maybe if you even need somebody to help you service it, you can bring it down here. Let's see here. Thank you to the guys over at Shock Therapy. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapyusa.com. Buy some limit straps, the steering rack, any of their hard parts, or just get running the rad improvement systems. They're always down to help you guys out. They're doing big things this year, too. So thank you to the guys over at EFX Tires. Cole Clark got that top qualifying position on some EFX tires.
He was cooking.
At KOH. So CJ and Kyle, hang on one second, buddies. Let's see here. Thanks to the guys over at Evolution Power Sports. Dude, swept the podium in the UTV class. All three of them, Evolution Power Sports, dude. How rad is that? And the Can-Am guys actually told me a pretty cool stat.
What's that?
3 years in a row, they've swept the podium at KOH.
Well, Can-Am's going for it out there.
Dude, it's crazy, right? I just love that, that they have so much competition. You know what I mean? Like, there's the whole Ford and Chevy thing. Like, everybody's battling. It's pretty rad, man. Thank you to the guys over at Evolution Power Sports. Thank you to the guys over at Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code TheDirtLife at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. Go grab any of that stuff. You can see we got a side case cover right up here in the Boxo toolbox behind us. You can get stuff like that, tie rods, radius rods, all kinds of stuff from the guys over at Zollinger Racing Products. In fact, Travis Zollinger is going to be buzzing in tonight too, hanging out with us a little bit. Thanks to the guys over at CryoHeat, Josh and all his buddies. A lot of guys out there at King of the Hammers using those Pro Mod transmissions and a lot of his metal treatment stuff on their side-by-side. So go check out cryoheat.com and call Josh. Tell him that we sent you. Thanks to the guys over at Solder Weld. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com. Get yourself an off-road repair kit. All right, so thanks for letting us go through the sponsors. You can always check us out, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, like James was saying earlier. If you got to do it on the road, don't watch the screen like Joey D does in his truck. Please just listen to it on iTunes or Spotify or one of those applications. But please keep sharing it, man. We really appreciate all the stuff that you guys are doing. We had a comment come in. I don't know if you had seen that when it came through.
There's a few.
It was asking if
something about lower arms on Chaney's car.
So what does that say from Ryan right there? Ryan Scene Face.
Super interested in Kyle's front suspension. Can't find the arms to move the shock to the lower arm for X3 on CT Raceworks.
Maybe that's some new trick stuff. So we'll ask Kyle about that right now. And then John Hupper said, it's sick when you have a heli broke your car. Did you see that video? That helicopter actually pulling the vehicle out? Yeah.
Was that a side-by-side?
I don't know. Big money, though. Big money.
I couldn't see what it was.
All right. So I guess we're going to have to get CJ and Kyle both on at the same time here, but hopefully those guys can keep it PG-13, not fight over the Instagram Live. CJ Greaves, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
How are you,
doing?
man?
Good, yourself?
We're doing awesome. We got Kyle Chaney coming on, too. I don't know if we can see him, though. He's driving.
Perfect. Him and I are two peas in a pod.
Kyle, can you see us?
I literally stopped. I just ran out of fuel, so I'm trying to get fuel right now.
Are you serious? You really ran out of fuel?
No, but if I went to like the certain time I was supposed to get on, I'd be out of fuel or I'd be pumping it by the time I was supposed to be on the show. So I figured I'd just stop here and wait to get fuel. I'll do the show first.
Okay, sounds good. CJ, do you want to stay on while we talk with Kyle, or do you want to come on at his slot at 5:25? Uh-oh, it looks like we might be losing CJ anyways. Kyle Chaney, the winner of this year's King of the Hammers UTV race. Can-Am UTV King of the Hammers 2022, dude. That was pretty rad, man. You guys did a fantastic job. We saw you out on course quite a few times, and it looked like it wasn't that gnarly of a race for you guys. It looked like it was pretty smooth sailing, but you guys had a few issues, didn't you?
I made one mistake in sledge. That was our only issue on track. I got wedged between the big rock and like the side rock there, and we had to winch off of it. But that was my only mistake all day. We had a GPS malfunction before the race, but we only had that one mistake during the race.
Dude, it's pretty
Nice.
crazy, right? I mean, just think about it, James. Like, we were just talking at the beginning of the show. It's
Sure.
hard for us to understand because we're not big rock guys.
Right.
But there's so many people that don't finish that race. And then when you see, a run like Kyle's, and he almost, for lack of a better way of saying it, makes it look easy, right?
Sure. No doubt. I mean, you've been out there how many years in a row?
So this is my fourth year. The first year we DNF'd. We only made it like 33 miles. We had a overheating issue, and then we were on the podium the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy, right?
Well, I mean, you guys are out there doing work, It's awesome.
What were some of the things that you guys faced, like some of the adversity or some of the things that was going on during the race that you can tell us about that somebody might not know?
Man, we really didn't have anything. Like, everything went really smooth. Scotty Lawrence was my co-pilot, and after we got the GPS thing kind of fixed early, we just kind of cruised, and we wanted to try to get to the rocks first. And Ronnie was fucking blazing fast in the desert, and I caught Ronnie in Turkey Claw, and then after Turkey Claw, he was trying to check out, so I tried to stay with him in the dust, but he was on a mission, so I figured I'd just let him go and just kind of keep getting cars while I could, and see if I could catch Ronnie in the rocks. But he ended up having some issues of his own, so we ended up making it to the rocks first, mostly because I didn't stop for fuel. We did some calculations and figured I could probably make the whole race on one tank of fuel. So we came into the main pit before the rock loop right behind Phil, and I didn't know he was having issues at the time. If I knew he was having issues, I probably would have took a splash of fuel, but I wanted to pass him and get into the rocks first. So we decided not to get fuel.
Dude, yeah. See, isn't it? Then you got to come up with these decisions on the fly,
Yeah.
and while you're dealing with those rocks. So we were talking about it on the way home with a couple people, and when you go out and you have a desert race, it's you got to do your logistical, your pit strategies, and you go a million miles an hour, and then you go slow through the rock. But it's not the same, right? It's like a completely different animal.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the desert. Literally, if you don't get through the desert with a car that's in the same shape you left the line in, you're not going to make it through the rocks. You have to get through the desert with a car that's in 100% tip-top shape if you want to make it through the rocks.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, knowing that he's only been doing it for a short amount of time, and we're going to have the Hunter Miller and Cody Miller, the Miller brothers, on in just a little bit here. They've been doing it about the same amount of time, and to see all three of them kind of come up so quickly to be able to win these things is pretty phenomenal, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's some crazy terrain, I honestly want to do it and get out there just so I can figure out what's out there, because it's wild.
When oh yeah, and I got to throw a shout out to the Evo Power Sports guys, dude. They had you moving.
Oh yeah, my car runs really good. They help me out a lot.
So one of the things that I was noticing, like I saw a bunch of guys, and this is like more of a technical, like racer guy question, right? Like James saw these guys doing it too. And in the intro, we kind of played a little clip of CJ, and I don't know what the section he was going up, but it was a super steep set of rocks. And when you go up those rocks, the car kind of skips. It lunges forward, lunges back, and kind of hops like it almost does its own bunny hop. Like, what's the move on from a driver's standpoint to make sure that you're getting the car over it so it doesn't get super wild and out of control in a situation like that?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what section you're talking about, but momentum is key for sure in the rocks, and spinning's winning. You got to hold it wide open and just bounce off everything, and I said spinning tires is what wins races.
And that's like even going up that super steep stuff where it just keeps kind of like crawling like it's almost going to get there, and then finally at the top you can crest it.
No, I'm kidding. You don't want to spin at all.
Oh.
Like the only time I was wide open was trying to beat Mitchie off the line. That was the only time I ever floored my car.
Yeah, so
it's all about momentum.
That's a perfect way to say it, though, because, like, when I was watching it, I was getting confused because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, dude, these guys are fucking pinned.
Yeah.
Like, they're just holding the throttle wide open going up these, like, 10-foot rocks trying to get up the top of it. And I'm like, I don't know how that works. I was going to ask Kyle, so.
Yeah, even in the lake bed and, through the desert and stuff, I was never wide open, maybe 3/4 throttle. So the only time I ever held it wide open was to try to get Mitchie into the first corner. So it was close. Me and him were neck and neck.
Hey, so Kyle, do you know this guy right here on with us now, Scotty Lawrence? What's up, buddy?
Hey guys. Hey Kyle.
Hey, what's up? He looks like he's in Ohio. Rock star lifestyle. He flies everywhere.
Well, thanks for joining us, Scotty. We really appreciate it. So you helped Kyle navigate to victory, dude.
Oh man, at first we weren't sure there was going to be much navigating going on. That was acting up, and talk about a panic attack moment.
Oh yes. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that. So before the race, you guys had some issues, right?
Yes, we had pre-ran, with a different car, and all the notes and things like that we put in the GPS spot. We wanted it to be a race car, obviously. And so the guys switched the GPS around between the cars the night before, and I don't think they finished up till like 2:00 in the morning or something.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Scotty, but we got kind of a bad connection. I don't know if maybe you can go into a different room or get off Wi-Fi and just try to use your cell phone signal or something, por favor.
All right.
Yeah. So Kyle, what was he saying?
Yeah. So before the race, we're sitting there in line and we're getting ready to take off. The first two guys are getting ready to pull up, and our GPS isn't working. Like it's not even recognizing where we're at. So we have one of our guys comes over and tries to fix it, and we have no luck. The thing is not working. So luckily, this fish finder that we use has an internal GPS. So Scotty turned it on, and it's super slow. So it was we were getting to corners, and it just wasn't keeping up with the car because the GPS was actually working slower than the car. So actually, once we got they had a 30-mile-an-hour zone 50 miles into the race, and Scotty ended up figuring out how to get the actual GPS to work during this 30-mile-an-hour zone that we were in.
Dude, way to go, Scotty, man. That's clutch right there.
Yeah, it was a freak out moment for sure.
Yeah, the audio sounds quite a bit better, so maybe it'll work right there. Have you ever had, well, actually, I think we did at the Baja 500. Didn't we have GPS stuff that we had to work out before the race?
Same thing. Using different cars to pre-run, logging notes, from different cars, and then putting them together with Erica, my little sister. And then still something goes wrong, and you're on the line, and everything was good, and then it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
it happens.
Brian Forrester just commented in on YouTube, it looks like, or Facebook, and said it's always hard because electronics seem to always have gremlins in them, right? But it sounds like you guys got that figured out pretty quickly. What was the move if shit just went haywire and you guys had to just go for it? Did you know enough of it to be able to just charge it without GPS?
I was just gonna go and follow the fastest guy I could find. Follow him around the whole race.
I mean, it's simple, but that's a good move.
Yeah.
So what was one of the funnest things out there on the course? I mean, there's so many different obstacles, but actually, you tell me yours first, Scotty, is the favorite part of the track, because there's wide open parts like out in the desert like you were talking about, like on the lake bed, and there's like super gnarly downhills, rocks. Like what part did you enjoy the most?
I would probably have to say the 2.5 miles, 30-mile-an-hour zone where you can just sit there and drive in a nice slow, smooth. And I tell you that this race is so stressful. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on the co-driver as the co-driver to keep Kyle on course. And we're moving at a pretty fast pace. And so, you know, I think overall we did pretty good. We did get lost a couple times, but to really mess up real bad, you know, never had any real bad mess ups. We got back on course pretty quick, but really to have a favorite part of this race, I'd say, you know, anytime you're out in the open desert flying and there's a chopper like 30 feet from you sideways and filming, that's pretty cool to be able to see that.
Dude, that's actually a good one too, because like, yeah, that's only happened to me once in my life, and it was just because Justin from Shock Therapy is my friend. It wasn't because I was doing good. But yeah, so they were following me around. I felt like such a cool, like a rock star while I was out there. So I can see what you're saying, dude.
Yeah, the choppers are really cool. So that's probably the funnest part of it.
Yeah, that's super cool. What was your favorite part of the course, Kyle?
My favorite part of the course was probably sledge when we got stuck. It was my favorite time for sure. We broke the winch rope, and you know, I wasn't worried about anybody catching us or anything. I was super calm, and you know, I wasn't cussing or throwing a fit or nothing. It was a really good time.
I don't know if you know this, but Kyle's a really sarcastic person. So should we read him on the sarcastic side of this one?
I mean, I guess it just depends on how far out you were, you know?
Yeah, dude, totally. Oh, man.
I was like, at that moment, I'm like, I wish I didn't have this big of a lead so someone could come behind me and push me off this rock. I'm like, where is the next person to push me off this rock? Because I don't know if we're going to make it.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. Yeah, so speaking of that lead, though, I think that was pretty impressive. What was the section that we saw all those guys come through that Seth was showing them his junk?
Where were we at then?
I don't know what that name of that section was, but it was like a really like a rocky section. Kyle kind of went around the outside and then came through and then went up, and everybody else went through the middle of that rock bed.
Because we were at Turkey Claw, right?
Yeah.
No.
I don't have any idea what any of those names are. All those names at KOH are so funky. Maybe somebody could chime in and tell us how they get those names, because they're all crazy, right?
I think it's the first person who goes up the trail gets to name them.
Nice. Is there still trails that you could actually go name up there then, or are they all like taken already?
I have no idea. You'll have to ask Dave Cole.
Dude, I feel like you could hit one and get a pretty cool name on there, make your mark.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'll just stay on the mark trail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys both for joining us, man. I really appreciate it. I know you're driving back to Ohio now, Kyle. Where are you at about?
I'm in St. Louis. I just stopped at a gas station here. I'm going to fill up and might run over to Applebee's.
Oh, look
at
Applebee's. Dude, look at you, man. That's
Mac
the way
and
to do
cheese,
it.
Man.
Traveling across the country, dude, is dedication for racing. That's for sure. Scotty, what's the next thing on your plate?
We got a couple ice races coming up here. The 500-mile Iceman 500 there up in Wisconsin. We haven't been able to conquer that one yet. Kyle won it, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. But me and Jeff, we went up a few times, raced it, and just not been able to figure it out. So I don't know. We may go up and do that. And on the 26th, I think, is John Creek side-by-side sports. DJ and his mom, of course. That's what super fun back to.
Yeah, that series is pretty cool. Those races are pretty cool, dude. That ice stuff is so. Are you gonna race that ice race, Kyle, or no?
I'm gonna race the side-by-side sports ice race. Yes, not the Iceman.
Oh, okay, dude.
I got too much dust to clean out of my trailer.
I was gonna say, man, it's got to be so gnarly. Like, what's the move after spending a week out there, or more than a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you guys spent out there? you guys got to go home and spend a whole week cleaning all that stuff, man. That's gnarly.
Well, and it's like 0 degrees at home and icing and snow and shit. So I don't know. You're best off just selling it.
Oh, selling it and just drinking some twisted teas.
Yeah, selling it and fucking going on a bender.
We really appreciate it, man. Kyle, we'll let you get back on the road. And Scotty, thank you very much for joining us.
Curious, real quick, before you guys check out, what amount of time have you guys been out, in Johnson Valley to train for KOH this season?
I went out by myself in November for a couple days, and then Phil met me out there for a couple days. Blurton, he met me out there for a couple days, and we had one guy from Can-Am that came out for a day or two too. So before the race, I spent those 3 or 4 days, and then I went out a week early before the race.
Dude, that's so
Nice.
much time. Hey, we had a comment come through, Kyle, that said Ryan Sceneface asked, who made Kyle's front arms to move the shocks?
CT Raceworks did all that stuff, and yeah, they don't have it on their website, but because we kind of did the development with it when I was out there in November. We kind of made sure everything worked, so they didn't want to put something up on their website that wasn't proven yet. But we just raced King of Hammers with it, so it's definitely proven now. So I don't know if they're going to actually sell it, but you could probably call them and they'd be able to get you set with real quick.
Yeah, that's right. There they are right there. They just commented in too. Man, dude, I still can't believe, like, in my head, driving all the way home, how easy they made it look, man. It looks such a grueling course, and both these guys made it look pretty smooth.
Great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So thank you guys very much. Really appreciate it. Scotty, good luck at your ice races, and you as well, Kyle, after you get all that dust cleaned up.
Yeah, don't forget spinning's winning.
I'll take your advice. All right, thanks, boys.
All right. See you.
All right, so let's try and get CJ Greaves on here right now too. We'll see if we can invite him right there. Thank you guys very much for throwing out the questions for Scotty and Kyle there. That was pretty cool.
Sounds like we're going to get out there and spin them next season.
That's so funny, man. You can never know what those guys are talking about. CJ Greaves, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Hey,
See if we can make it work this time.
That sounds a little bit better. Sounds like we got a better connection. So let me give you the proper introduction. So CJ Greaves, multi-time short course champion, UTV champion, Pro 4 champion. He's got all the freaking record books and stuff that he's shooting for to win in UTVs now. Just switched over to Polaris Razor. Drove a Polaris Turbo R in the King of the Hammers. And, man, how did it go?
Well, for never having driven anything with a CVT or raced anything with a CVT before, and doing anything like that, it was pretty interesting to say the least. So we got the car January 3rd and had to leave January 24th, and really had no idea what we were getting into. So to be able to go there and just finish in general was the main goal, and obviously we were able to do that, and it's just been a learning curve ever since.
Dude, so you've been in that position before. You get a brand new car,
Sure.
and then you get, let's just say a week to put it all together. How stressful is that?
It's tough, especially, at least most of my cars are similar,
Oh, yeah.
He's
so
going from a whole different platform. So.
apples to oranges kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. How was it not having to use a sequential gearbox and your foot on the clutch?
Well, I just drove around like Ricky Bobby with one hand, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do with my hand right now. And then I did the same thing with my other foot. I just hung that out over there and brought it along for the ride. But, man, the biggest thing was being that the Turbo Rs are so new, we ran stock everything. A-arms were stock, axles were stock, tie rods were stock. So going into the race, not knowing what's going to survive was the biggest thing. I mean, your typical car, like my pre-runner was a Pro XP, and I was able to go over to HDR and RCV and know that I got good stuff on there right away. And that stuff's been proven for KOH before, but now you go to a completely new car and new platform and nobody makes any parts for it. Was definitely interesting.
You've actually been in that position a lot, James. Mm-hmm. And so James is a huge proponent. So we're at IMG Motorsports, and he does all kinds of his customers' cars. He builds all kinds of different race cars and stuff, but he's a massive proponent of stock. As much stuff that you can leave stock, do it.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as a consumer standpoint, why not, right? I mean, we took I think 80% of the team took a bone stock car, threw some sort of cage on it that could hold a spare tire and a little bit more than just your standard typical bolt-on cage. We made bumpers. We put a winch on it. And other than that, from a couple of us made lower radius rods, and that's about it. And I think majority of us didn't have anything too crazy as far as A-arms or knuckles or wheel bearings or anything like that go wrong. So I think that was pretty cool and hard to beat.
How was it driving? Because I haven't got to drive a Turbo R. I got to cruise the Pro R. But how was that turbo one? It's pretty good.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, and especially that Fox live valve is incredible. I don't know what's next, how they're going to beat that, but I can only imagine. And the model that I was driving had 4 different settings in the dash, and you could flip through it on the steering wheel. So we were running between comfort mode, which is just standard, and then you could go to race mode that would close down the compression a little bit and close down the rebound a little bit, front and rear. And then you could run the desert mode, which would close down the compression in both, but only add rebound to the rear to try to help it float like a buggy a little bit. And then the rock mode was added a bunch of compression and actually would raise the car. By the time you fell off a couple of rocks or wiggled the car around a little bit, you could raise the ride height 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches, to get a little extra clearance going through the rocks.
That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah,
so
great system.
You guys didn't do any revalving or anything?
We put Fox did put springs on it, some fresh iBox springs, and they put coolers for the live valve on the back.
And then you just switch the modes and go?
You just switch the modes and go. I know they did change like some of the O-rings, I think, internally, just for high temp stuff, just for that race in particular. But as far as like valving and everything like that, it was spot on.
Dude, that's pretty crazy, right?
That's cool, yeah.
That makes me feel so good because I actually want to get one of those cars. So I was thinking about doing it and maybe making like I don't even know what the classes are now, like rally class and all these different stock spec classes.
Yeah, like a pro stock.
Yeah, like a pro stock class. That's what I wanted to race in so I could bring some other people along for the ride. But that's the car that I was thinking about doing, so maybe I should get one. Yeah,
man, they're definitely a beast, to say the least. I don't think there was many holes we were scared of out there.
So were you the one like switching the modes, or was it your co-driver?
No, it's on the steering wheel, so you could just flip through it, and then it also has a panic button. So you see a big ditch coming up, you just hit the panic button, and it goes all stiff, and you can just smash through the ditch, and you don't even know it's there.
Dude, that's cool. I never knew about the panic button.
So you got a little bit going on. You got to, like, while you're driving, think about, like, where all the buttons are and where the modes are. It's kind of like playing a video game, but once you get it sorted out, it's pretty good.
That's what I was going to say. All these kids growing up that know how to play video games, they're going to be dialed when they get into one of those things.
Heck yeah.
Who rode with you?
My mechanic, Devin, he's my mechanic on my Pro 4. He's been riding with me every year, so we've been learning together. He's been my Billy Goat.
That's cool, though. What was the most, like, the best part of your guys' whole race?
The finish line, actually. Just getting it to the finish. But no, we surprisingly we never had to winch. We got backed up, I think, once at Jack. Dustin Jones was there with 2 broken axles and the winch rope all wrapped up in his wheel. So we had to wait for him to get out of the way one time. And then where Chaney was not frantically panicking, waiting for people to catch him because his fish finder told him to go the wrong way. He was stuck on that big rock right there, and we were able to just get right through there. My co-rider hopped out. We had a guy winching in front of us, and he just took one rock and threw it in there. When I went over the big rock that everyone got stuck on, my left rear drove up on it, and I drove right over and kept on going.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, way cool.
Dude, it's so cool to see it. Like, CJ's connecting all the dots for us, right, on the show. Like, all of these different things. Like, all the racers at some point, like, I don't know, kind of cross paths during the race, right? Yeah. It's so rad to hear all those stories, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you'll be in the middle of nowhere, and you swear you're the only person left out on the track. You'll be in the back by, like, Aftershock or something, and they'll go hours. Like, you're in the car for, like, an hour, and you and your co-rider won't say nothing. They'll just be like, just bouncing along through the rocks, and all of a sudden you'll come up on a hard section and there'll be like 2 cars there, and then it's like, all right, game on, and you're all rejuvenated again.
Yeah, like, let's go. So James and I have never done a rock race like that, and to be honest with you, I don't know if I want to. It looks too gnarly for this dude. But if you were going to try to convince James to go out there and do it next year, what would you tell him?
Don't.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if like I've been on some Baja missions, in down in the 500 or the 1,000, and driving all the way through the night or whatever, and you're just going like, sometimes it comes through my head like, what am I doing right now, right? Like, does that happen in this short of a race?
Typically not in a race because they give us the course beforehand. So, but when you're pre-running and you come up to one of these rock sections and you're like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. I don't know why I'm here anymore. But I think the best person you could ask right now is my buddy Tyler. He was on the show after the 12-hour.
Oh, yeah.
They've never done anything like this. After the 12-hour, I'm like, hey, you want to go to KOH? And they're like, yeah, we'll go. They've done one Ultra 4 race. They've never seen KOH. They've never watched KOH, nothing. And they finished. And we took them with us pre-running, and they had a Polaris Turbo S that they had built. And Tyler raced the desert, and then his dad raced the rocks. And, man, from the very beginning till the first, they caught 3 different vehicles on fire. We made it like 500 feet into the first rock section. His race car caught on fire. And we got all that sorted out, and they ended up finishing, like when it came race time, they ended up finishing it all. But I think afterwards, Todd said, this is the only time I'm ever going to do that. And I finished it once, and we're done. If somebody else wants to do it, that's fine.
What were they racing?
They ran a Turbo S in Turbo Stock class. But so the first time it caught fire, the seat came loose and grounded out on the top of the battery. And we're in the bottom of the first rock trail, and I turn around, and it's just pouring smoke out. And Todd, he's a little bit bigger guy. He's trying to get out of that thing, and he's flaring like a fish out of water trying to get out. Tyler pulls a fire extinguisher, comes running over there, hits it, and it doesn't work. So Devin comes over and blows it out. He's sitting there going until it goes out.
Dude, that's hilarious, man. Those are like the best times, though, because like they weren't going to go there and not give it their all, and now they're just spent.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's like a love-hate relationship, right? You do it once, and it's like you get done, and you're like, man, I am just so happy that was done. I never want to do it again. And by the time you get, like me, drive 36 hours home, you're like, so how many days till we do it again?
Yeah.
And and then you get there, and by the last day you're there, you're like, I just want to go home. I've been in this lake bed for 2 weeks straight, living in the desert, but it's definitely an addiction.
Dude, it's so crazy, man. I can vouch for that, too, on a totally different subject, but I trained for 2 years to do an Ironman, never done a triathlon, never done anything, just like Tyler and the guys. Went out there, knocked out the Ironman. Right as I crossed the finish line, I was like, let's go get some tacos and some beer. I'm never fucking doing this again. That was it. So I like the same as Tyler.
Yeah, put Todd on. Todd's the dad.
Todd's the dad.
He's the people's champ, dude.
Yeah, Todd
is the people's
KOH
champ.
People's champ.
You guys got to get him on here. He could probably tell stories like no tomorrow, those two. So pre-running, they were able to follow us. It was 3 of us, so we kind of showed them the ways. But come race time, they're all on their own. And the stories they had when they got done were just priceless. They were literally priceless. It was worth it in its own.
You should have just had like a GoPro filming the whole time at the campfire.
I should have. That would have been the best part for sure.
Hell yeah. Dude, it sounds like you guys had a great time, and there's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of different things that have to line up for you to be able to cross that finish line. Throw a shout out to some of your sponsors and tell us how you did, because we don't even know what the results were for you.
Yeah, obviously a big thanks to Polaris and all their guys. They had a bunch of engineers and people out there to help the whole time. We ended up 6th overall out of everybody, and we won the open class. So because of the, I guess, production number of cars that were produced, come that time, we weren't allowed to run a production class. We had to run open. So there was a handful of us in there. Like anyone that had like a custom fabricated car had to be an open class. So I think the ZRP guy was in open class. I think Cole Clark was in open class. obviously all the factory Polaris guys were in open class. And then there was definitely some full tube chassis cars in there and whatnot. So that was the class we ended up getting the win in 6th overall. I think they had 23 or 28 cars finished out of 119 that started this year.
Wow.
So just to be able to come across the line was really good. We were really happy with that. And especially being that we've never raced a Polaris before, we didn't know what's going to be the weak point. How hard do you drive it? I mean, it's got stock axles, it's got stock tie rods. How far do you go before you're like, man, this thing's going to break and I'm not going to be able to finish? So just being able to bring it across the line was a win for us. And everyone from Fox and Monster Energy, Cody Wagner from Laser Nut, he let all of us camp out in his sweet little we're going to call it a hotel there these days because it's getting pretty popular. And just everyone that helps us out, we appreciate it. And we enjoy being able to come on here and chat with you guys.
Dude, yeah, I'm stoked, man. It was really cool to see you out there. We had actually, I was talking about it before with Kyle a little bit, but we had a little clip that we saw for like you trying to get up. I don't know what the area it was, but like the car was like bouncing up and down while you're trying to go up this like steep rock, like 10 or 12 foot rock. And then finally it gets to the top and it throws you sideways. You correct it, get on it. And then another bump throws you sideways again, dude. It's so nuts for me to see the skill level that drivers like you possess to be able to navigate those obstacles.
Man, it's like Kyle said before, momentum is key. I know he likes to go spinning for winning, but momentum is definitely key there. Like when you come up to a rock section like that, you don't want to stop at the bottom and then try to get it to the top. You got to come into it and just trust that you're going to make it. And once it starts moving, you're just along for the ride. And what a lot of people don't know is we aim for a lot of those big rocks. Them big rocks, not only do not many people use them, so they're still really grippy, but they also provide clearance. So when you climb up on a big rock, you can go over a lot of smaller rocks and stuff and never touch them because it picks the whole car up. Dude. There'll be a lot of sections that you'll be like, why are they driving up this rock? Well, typically it's because the rock that we're trying to get over, we can't clear unless we use this rock to get clearance to get us back up and over it. So there's a lot of tricks to the trade, but it's a good time.
That's what I was going to tell you, James, dude. Now, if you're a big rock guy, you just got a pro tip from CJ Greaves.
I'm going to pre-run.
You're going to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Definitely take your time out there. Go with someone that has been there before, and they'll get it figured out.
So CJ said meet him out there.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, perfect.
But yeah, let's go. Let's go, man.
Hey, thanks, homie. Really appreciate it. We're going to bring Dustin Battleaxe Jones and maybe Dustin Henderson on. But, dude, yeah, congratulations on your first successful outing with Polaris and obviously on the, just being able to finish, dude. It's super cool, man. So good job.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. We're going to go get some tacos and Twisted Tea now.
Woo, nice. Do it. All right, buddy. We'll see you later. Thanks, CJ.
Yeah.
Rossi Welch said, well done, CJ. So we're going to get Dustin Battleaxe Jones on here. I think he might have needed us. I don't know if Dustin Henderson's going to be able to join us or not, but we'll get him on and start talking to him. Dude, these pro tips, dude. So,
I'm thinking pull up at Turkey Claw. Is that the first one we were at?
I don't know what they are, man. So, to me, it's hard to know because they all look the same, just gnarly rocks everywhere.
I think it's Turkey Claw.
Is that
No, it's not Turkey Claw. No.
Oh, look at the boys. What's up? Dustin Battleaxe Jones.
Hey.
Dustin Henderson. What's going on, boys?
What's up, guys? And Squirt. Don't forget about Squirt.
Oh, we can't see him. Put him up a little higher next to you guys. There you go.
Oh.
What's up, Squirt? Hey, he looks all scared. Did he just get done rock crawling?
Yeah. She's been missing Dustin. We've been gone for like a week and a half, so she's just trying to get some attention now.
Oh, it's a girl. Right on, man. Well, I'm glad that you guys made it home safe. You guys have been traveling a lot lately. The overall KOH vibe is so high, dude. Like, so high, man. People have such a great time out there. But the seriousness I could see after the race in all of your guys' eyes was like back to reality. Like, holy shit. This lake bed and these rocks just totally took advantage of all of us.
Dude, that whole trip is such an emotional roller coaster because, there's so much pressure around that race and so much coverage, and you trash a pre-runner to go out there and pre-run for a week, and you trash a race car for a single race, And then everybody wants to win that thing, man. Like it's like the men 400, the World Championships. It's just everybody wants to win King of the Hammers, and anything besides winning that race is a letdown, you know. So it's just like CJ was saying, like you're out there, you love being out there, so fun, and then like 4 days of pre-running, you're like, bro, I'm so sick of pre-running, and I'm just ready to race. You get in a race car, you're having a good time. You're like, dude, I'm ready for this to be over. And then as soon as it's over, it's like, dude, I can't wait till next year.
Hey, so DH, when you're out there pre-running and doing all that stuff, I always wonder how much time the co-driver actually spends in the car when you're pre-running, because aren't you like out scoping out all the shit?
Yeah, for the most part, I'd say it's probably 75-25. You know, it's more than just trying to scope out good lines. It's making good notes as you go through there too, you know. So don't have to necessarily be out of the car, but yeah, for sure you're out of the car. You know, checking good lines, finding the best, fastest route that you think you want to take during the race. So
how is yours and Dustin, or both of your guys' skill level set with a fish finder? Can you do what Kyle Chaney and Scotty Lawrence did with the fish finder in that race?
Man, we actually use lead nav and an iPad, so we download the actual like topographical look of it. And so like even before we get to an obstacle, like Dustin will go in there and he'll mark the washes, like he'll mark the drop-offs, because he's got the actual geography or whatever downloaded
Topography.
Topography, is that what it's called?
Yep, exactly. So like before we ever step foot on a track, like Dustin has already gone through every inch of that track and marked stuff that looks like a wash, it looks like a tight rock section. So I don't know, ours is probably a little easier than using a fish finder. That's what we used to use back when we first started racing. And now it's like iPod and actual good high definition graphics of what's going on out there.
Yeah, and clearly Dustin Henderson over here is like MacGyver if he's getting it all dialed in. Computer tech genius over here.
Dude, I guarantee he spends more time than anybody out there. He literally will go and mark every single turn, no matter how soft or like how hard the turn is. He'll mark every one so that it counts down for me before I get to the turns. And so,
nice.
I mean, like the Men 400, how many hundreds of turns is there in that track? And so he literally marked every single one, no matter how easy it was.
Dude, that's crazy. Knowing that, like, that you have all of that, I don't know, pre-running work done, does that give you extra confidence? Because I feel like that race can still, like, totally turn, well, cliche way to say it, but turn upside down on you.
Yeah, for sure. I think the notes were super crucial, especially making our way through the rocks. I 100% depend on Dustin when I'm driving, which may be different than other racers. Like, I just pay attention to my tire placement while I'm racing, and, like, I have to rely on him. I have no idea where we are on the track. So even when we're like, hey, we're fixing to go up Jackhammer, I'm like, what? We're at Jackhammer? Like, how did we get here? And so so him making calls, it's impossible for me to do well without him telling me where to go.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? And
which is so weird from where we came from racing, because we did woods racing by ourselves, and like I can memorize the track in 2 laps. But whenever we're doing racing like this, and I know I have him to depend on, I don't even keep track of where I'm at.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say, because we were talking about it earlier on the show. Like, James and I have never done a KOH before, and I, to be honest with you, I don't know if I ever will want to do it just because it's so gnarly. But James is actually thinking about going and pre-running next year. So when you guys do that pre-running, we got to find him a good guy to sit in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Dude, it makes a big difference, man, because you think you'll remember things on the track until you're at race pace and you'll forget it all.
Sure.
So there were several spots like through the desert section where there was some really good, not cut lines, but you could run there was like 4 lines wide, and you could run an inside or an outside line. And some of them, like the inside line was shorter, but way rougher. The outside line would be way smoother, but a little longer. And so Dean's like, do you want me to mark this? I'm like, no, I'll remember it. And then, dude, as soon as we're running race pace, I'm so freaking turned around, I don't know where I'm at. So I'm like, why do you tell me? Why do you tell me what that was? He's like, bro, you said you would remember this. It's like the easiest part of the track.
Are you one of those guys that, let's say there's 2 or 3, like, fork in the road, right? Do you come in and just lock them up, like, left or right? Are you that dude?
Yes, yes, dude. And the other thing that I'm really bad about, and you can ask Dustin, is I'm always thinking the line that I'm not running is the better line. And so I'm like, we got to scoot over there to the right. It looks way better over there. So like we'll jet over there. I'm like, bro, why did we come over here? It's way smoother back where we were.
Yeah, I get that. Down in Mexico, you start hunting lines and you're like, you're just wasting time and beating the car up.
Yeah.
You should just stay there and just go along, you know?
We just had a comment come through. Actually, I had two comments, but yeah, good code riders are a must out there. It's like basically finding gold when you got DH sitting next to you, right?
Man, it truly is, dude, because he'll even be like, hey, after this big rock, turn left, hard left, and you're going to fade back right. Like, this is at snail's pace rock crawling. He's like, that big rock right there, turn on the backside of that rock, and you're going to have to cut diagonal up to this third rock. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Turn left at the Starbucks, then right at the McDonald's. We good.
You boys just trying to race. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All these directions. You're just trying to race.
No, that's what I'm saying. Just freaking. I'm just trying to keep it pointing straight and on all four wheels.
I don't want to give away all our good navigating techniques and methods, but man, really, you get out of it what you put into it.
Oh, dude, yeah,
sure.
We put a ton of effort into navigating and course notes, and for us, it works really well. Other teams may approach it a little bit differently, but for his driving style and for our racing style, and it works really, really well for us. So. For me, it's no question. We literally will put in an unlimited amount of work if we think that it would give us an advantage.
Oh yeah, dude. Preparation is key. I mean, you got to get the car prepped. You got to get your trailer prepped. All the logistics prepped. I mean, if you mess up on one of those things, it's the weakest link, right? Hey, so real quick, Dustin Jones. We had Emily Edwards commented in, and then she wanted to make sure that you knew that Gunner is still faster than you.
Bro, I will smoke him. I don't care if he's 4 years old. I'll clown him, dude.
I'm going to bring him in co-driver.
Yeah. Bring Gunner down.
We're going to pass you, dog.
Yeah.
He knows I'll clown him. I smoked him at the Sand Sports show in a foot race.
I don't know, man. He kind of kept you honest.
Yeah, dude. He will call you out, too. And he don't ever get enough racing. He will race over and over again.
Dude, and so Dustin and Gunner actually had, at Sand Sports Super Show, had a battle who had the best hair. He's like, no, Gunner, you put that hair away or make me look bad.
Yeah.
Dog, and he's got that little charm and that smile, bro, and his mullet is just killing the game.
Hey, so one question that I have, since you guys are already back, is KOH didn't go the way you wanted. So what's the move? Like, what do you guys feel like what's the drive home or the flight home? You guys talk about it. Like, how do you move forward? I want some tips so that you can give some of these other guys that may not have finished KOH or may not have done well at the races last year, and they want to give a little bit better understanding, like how a professional team moves forward from stuff like that.
Yeah, so what I like to do usually on these 20-hour drives home is wildly speculate how we could have or would have or should have won the race. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like the whole drive, I'm like, Dustin, you realize if we didn't break that one axle on jackhammer, we would have won this whole thing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And of course, he's like, yeah, we would have. You know what? Let's go back next year and let's try to win it again. So it honestly, bro, when you put the kind of effort and stuff that we put into it, pre-running for 4 days, we went out there 2 times last year to pre-run. Like, if you get down on yourself about it and you don't stop to appreciate the little victories, like, it'll wear on you. You know what I'm saying? If you're just like, bro, we raced this thing 4 years in a row, dude, and we've never won this race. And it's one of the few that we haven't won. And so I'm like, if you really get down on yourself, you're like, bro, what are we doing this for? Like, King of the Hammers is so much work. You tear up a pre-runner, you tear up a car. Like, this ain't worth it. But if you celebrate the little things that you did good, if you consider the positives that you can take away from it, and always try to improve the things that went wrong, like, you can keep pushing yourself racing. So, like, leaving there, we're always like, bro, we ran this section good. Like, the car suspension was freaking dialed. The car was ripping. But, we got off the line here. Maybe we need to prep. Maybe we need to run a little different clutch setup. Maybe we need to prep the axles a little differently. So, I don't know. For me, it's considering the positives of the race and learning from the things that went wrong versus just dwelling on, like, bro, this sucks. This race was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Is that kind of your same mentality too, Dustin Henderson?
Yes, definitely. Like DJ mentioned, that 20 24-hour drive home, it really gives you time to reflect on how the race went. So if you had a great race, like when we won the Mint, the drive home was actually not that bad. But, when you have tough races, man, it makes the drive home that much worse.
And you kind of got to tune your attitude to give yourself a little bit more hunger for the next one, right?
Yeah, and there's always the what ifs and should I have done this or done that, but we've always tried to implement ways to do better the next time than this time. So after KOH, like DJ mentioned, we're like, all right, we did this really, really well this year. What can we do better for next year? And I think something that we did really well this year, and as probably a lot of folks would remember, we had a bad get off in the notches a couple years ago. So we ran the notches 25 times this year to where we had it memorized. We hit it this year. Boom, we were making passes. We were making money moves at the notches.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
It's awesome.
Just implementing ways to get better, better than you were before. You're never going to have a perfect race, but as long as you're aiming to do better than what you did previously, I don't think you can go wrong with that mentality and that mindset. And I honestly think, we've gotten better every year. We've made improvements, and we came to that race more prepared than we have this year than previous years. So I very well think it's a race that we can win. So.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that at all. You guys already run a fantastic program. I mean, just KOH has so many variables, but I'm sure on that 24-hour, 69-hour drive home, you guys got a list that is just like you're starting to check off in the shop. You get back, you start cracking away at all these things, and then you know exactly how you're going to approach it next year. And you forget about all the stuff that happened, and you look for the positives.
Yeah, for sure. That's what keeps you going in racing, man, is everybody. I've noticed that like continues a long legacy of racing. They'll implement things to put themselves in the best position, but they'll always get that draw of like, dude, if I would have done this a little differently, we would have won that race.
Yep.
And so every race that I leave, I feel like we had a chance to win it. And if we would have done things a little differently, we could have taken the win. And if you don't feel that way, like, man, it's tough to keep racing. If you feel like you're only racing for the fun of it and only spending the money for the fun, it's tough. Like, you got to feel like you got a chance to win. So
Sure.
at the highest level, you got to be willing to do that stuff.
Dude, yeah, that's the way you operate your program, too.
Yeah.
You're always making it better.
Got to. And you got to have the positivity, too,
Yeah, positivity wins. Hey, so we had a comment come in, and I'm not sure. Did you guys race the grudge match? Because they said talk about the grudge match.
Dog, what kind of question is that? Was my car running?
Does a bear what in the woods?
Yeah, dog, we grudge match because my car's motor would start. So, yeah.
You think you would have got him in the grudge match?
Dude, I already know. If it wouldn't have broke on that hill, I would have won that grudge match.
Yeah.
What happened in there?
All right, so let me just break this grudge match down for people that don't know. So the top 20 finishers got entered into a grudge match. It was an option race where those guys had to run 4 laps on the qualifying course with an inverted field. So the person that finished 20th started first, in 19th and 18th all the way down. So we finished 12 or 13th or something. We were on the 4th row.
So you're mid-pack, yeah.
Yeah, so mid-pack. So we got 1 hour to work on the car from the race until the grudge match started.
I almost got him disqualified because I turned to Zeus, but not.
Yeah, you did. You did almost get. There were some teams complaining about us because of you. So a lot of guys like Guthrie, I saw him swap a front differential into his car because his differential worked. A couple other guys, I seen them swap, broken axles, swap tie rods, things like that were tore up. Me and Dustin focused all our efforts on performance. So we literally drained all the fuel out of the tank, changed all kind of stuff on this car, retuned the car with a new Evolution tune, and built it only on performance. Now we coasted in on a mostly broke front differential coming into the finish line. But instead of fixing that, we were like, nah, bro, let's make this thing a drag car. So sight lap rolled into the short course, and they dropped the flag. Well, we caught some boys sleeping on the flag because when I saw the flag drop, I already had that car spooled up, and we went full tap running in the first corner. So immediately we passed 4 cars right off the jump. Went full went full dirt track at the top of the berm, passed all the rest of them except for Deegan. Got right in behind Deegan, ran through the short course, went and hit the option line. Well, Scary Deegan hit the bypass. Me and your boy D went straight up the vertical climb trying to make it to the top. Got almost to the top and popped the front differential.
Oh.
And so skated back down, got sideways, almost rolled to the bottom of the hill. But James, I'm gonna tell you right now, if that front differential hadn't have broke, we'd have took that 10,000.
I seen it. I was at the PRP booth talking to Aaron, and I'm like, hey, we got to get back over here and watch this race, right? And then all of a sudden, whap, I hear everybody firing off, and I'm like, damn. So I turn around and we go closer to the big screen, and we start watching it, and I seen that high line, and I'm like, oh, got him, you know? And then I'm like, what just happened? And I didn't know.
We was a straight dirt track in, just top the high line, just dragging it around the corner. Shot the hill, it didn't make it. That's
boys let the general win.
Dude, going for it though, man.
Oh, dude, there was no other option. When we pulled up and Deegan took that bypass, there was no other option. If it would have been the steepest line on the track, I was taking that line.
That's insanely cool, man. I love hearing stories like that, man. It just makes me happy that you guys had a good time out there. Obviously, you guys want to win, so you're going to go back next year with guns blazing.
Yeah, of course, dude. Of course, bringing the heat every time.
Yeah. Hey, so what's next on the roster? I know you guys in the shop. Maybe you could do a little pan around so we can see some of the stuff going on, and then tell me what you guys got going.
Here's the King of the Hammers car. We got it back. I literally just unloaded it out of the trailer today. Worked a full day. Quit at 5, tore the car down to this tonight. We've got a bunch of cars back here getting built, getting ready for short course races, some pre-runs. We got 2 more short course chassis right there getting built. Got the desert car sitting right back there. But basically, we're tearing the King of the Hammers car down right now and getting it ready to race Laughlin in 2 weekends. So full race prep on this one, get it back together and get it ready for Laughlin.
All right, well, let's cross our fingers that I can make it to Laughlin as well, because we were going to have a hot dog cook-off showdown if you guys would like to eat some delicious hot dogs. Myself.
Is it going to be at Laughlin?
I thought he was going to say contest.
What did you say?
I thought you were about to say we're going to have a hot dog eating contest.
That would be gnarly, dude. Maybe you guys could do the hot dog eating contest, and we'll cook all the dogs.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Right before a 3-hour, 4-hour desert race. That's a solid idea.
Add another variable, dude.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's big news. Big news. Just hitting the internet. You guys are hearing it first. Me, Dustin, Cowboy Cerrone, and Cowboys co-driver are now entered into the expert quad racing class for the Laughlin race, racing a Banshee that Cowboy owns. So,
Has it got Toomies?
Bro, you already know.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Let's go.
Those Toomey pipes, man.
Eat.
Yeah. So, if anything, we're going to be 12 o'clock boys on the whole thing. Right now, there's only one other competitor. And so, I think when they seen we entered, they went ahead and entered. It's a dude and his wife. They're going to get drugged. That's all I know.
I like our.
No way.
You guys are gnarly, dude.
Hey,
Bro, we're going to be G'd up from the feet up. So Monster is making us all full custom race gear, like jerseys, gloves, pants, boots. Like, we're going to be full, whole team Monster Energy head to toe. And the dude, when he was getting it set up and like asking his sizes, and me and Cowboy was talking to him, he's like, man, y'all just don't go out there and embarrass us. Like, y'all better go out there and win if y'all going to be G'd up from the feet up. So
that's a lot of work. Like, you got to get the carburetors synced and all that shit, you know?
Dude, those Banshees.
Oh, I don't know. No, Jeff, I don't know this.
Hey, I know a really good Banshee tuner in Tucson, Arizona, dude. He's got those things prepped up, son.
All right, hit him up. Let him know.
Dude.
How many miles is a quad race? The quad race is like nine laps on a 17-mile track. So I don't want to give our strategy away of how we're going to win this thing, but we're definitely going to be doing some swapping during that race.
Is the quad race before or after the side-by-side race?
Before.
Oh, my God. You guys are going to be so...
These boys are pre-running. I see what's going on here.
Yeah, you always got to get it in.
No. No, we're going for the quad championship this year, too.
Oh, my gosh, man. I'm going to save some hot dogs for them for after they're done with their whole weekend, dude.
Yeah,
Holy
no doubt.
smokes.
It should go well. Really good. There's no way we're going to crash that Banshee. 100% no way.
How do you feel about this, DH?
Even if we don't win, at least we're going to look good.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have 0 ATV racing experience.
Except for in the mud, right?
Yeah, in the mud. In the desert, no, not so much.
Dude, that's gonna be
worst?
Go ahead.
What's the worst that can happen?
That infield is going to be fun, man. The
On a quad?
infield. Oh.
You know how much clutch they're gonna be using in that Banshee?
She's going to be gone.
Dude.
Man, we're just going to be scraping knuckles, just hanging off the back, dragging wheelie bar, bro. It's going to be wheelies all the way.
Dude, I see some golden content opportunities here. I'm not even going to record anything from the UTV race. I'm going to record a hot dog showdown and the quad race of these guys and call it the Dirt Life Weekend.
Ain't nobody really racing in Laughlin unless they're racing in the expert quad class. So
On a Banshee with Toomies.
In a Banshee with Toomies.
Man.
Day after contest.
Hey, just stop. If you got a Banshee in there, don't lie to me.
Me? No,
Yeah.
I'd be grabbing a Warrior, so it's got the reverse on it with the pull button reverse. Bub.
Dude. Now the Banshees are where it's at, dude. When I was 10 years old, my mom had a Banshee. I got to ride that thing, dude. I was like 100 pounds, and I would wax all the fast guys up the hill, dude, in Glamis.
Yeah.
Wax them, dude, because I was only 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait to see this, man. I'm a big Banshee fan, so I'll be on your guys' Banshee team no matter what.
Yeah, bro, we do need a pit crew, matter of fact, because all of us is going to be huffing and puffing and sucking air. So we're going to need a pit crew for sure.
I do actually know how to work on Banshees, so maybe I could lend an actual hand over there.
James, why you got your head in your hands like some bad
I'm just thinking.
I'm excited.
I don't know why you went live right now. What if Jason Weller pulls up?
Oh!
You're hired, both of you hired.
Bet.
All right. Well,
Run Dan Fisher, too. I know he makes some four-wheel parts. Tell him put one together. We'll drag him, too.
oh, man. Dude, this sounds like a really good opportunity to race.
I kind of want a quad.
I know. I was thinking we could go look on Craigslist for Banshees right now.
Bet y'all won't. Call Cowboy Ryan. He'll tell you. Don't none of y'all want that smoke that weekend.
What size tire are you running?
Huh?
What size tire?
Max sponsored us. They told us what tire we needed, and we said, all right, put them on there.
You know how big the hoops are out there?
No.
On a Banshee?
Oh, this stuff, dude.
Those Fox Proving Grounds just skeet.
Hey, he wants to go out there just fully naive and just go for it. That's what he's trying to do, man.
Oh, that's why I got friends like y'all to tell us, like, hey, dude, this is what you need. This is the setup that you need.
No, don't listen to us, man.
No, I'm about it.
Matter of fact, don't tell us none because y'all gonna be trying to take credit when we win, and I don't. I ain't thinking neither one of y'all on the podium after this.
Dude, you know what's gonna be the awesomest thing? He's gonna be like, yeah, I want to thank this Banshee from Cowboy Cerrone. I'd like to thank the guys at Toomey, even though they're not around anymore. But
Yep. And if anybody sponsor a professional quad racing team, we're interested.
Damn.
That's a perfect opportunity to get in at the ground level, prestige, wide.
I'm hit with the investors, possibly you.
Yep.
All right, homie. Hey, say that again, Henderson.
Accepting all offers.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. We got to go to a commercial break. Yeah, so I'm glad you guys got home safe. Obviously, you guys had a great time out at KOH, no matter what the result was, and we can't wait to see you out at Laughlin.
Yeah, buddy. Look forward to it, man.
All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you guys later. So up next, we are going to have we're going to have Travis Zollinger come on. We got to go to a quick commercial break right now. I'm going to try to see if I can get this TV so you guys could, on Instagram, could watch the commercial break and just won't be blank air. But we'll be back in about 7-8 minutes. We'll see you guys in a second.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target, and we are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
The new Code Shooter from Evolution Power Sports puts the power of ECU tuning right in the palm of your hand. Available for Can-Am and Polaris, the industry's most innovative app-based ECU tuning device lets you flash your vehicle's ECU, read and reset diagnostic codes, and monitor critical live engine data, all from your smartphone. Additional Code Shooter features for Can-Am include optional dash flash, real-time monitoring of air-fuel ratio and belt temperature, and adjustable launch control for the ultimate advantage off the line. Code Shooter unleashes the full potential of your vehicle, putting you in complete control wherever Wi-Fi access or 4G cell service is available. No more waiting. No more sending in your ECU. Download, connect, flash, ride. The power of ECU tuning in the palm of your hands at evopowersports.com.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I'm trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch, you can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up
It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything. So that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that, if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
And now back to the Dirt Life Show.
Yeah. Welcome back to episode 116 of the Dirt Life Show, our KOH recap for 2022. We've had some seriously good guests on so far. It's been really cool. We're going to get the Miller boys, Miller brothers, on with us now, Hunter Miller and Cody Miller. And we're going to talk with them about some of the fun that they had during this race. We're going to get Travis Zollinger on hopefully in about 45 minutes here. What's up, Caden? Dude, we got some loud noises going on there. Do I see Cody Miller? Is that who I got on?
What up? Yeah, you might hear my turbo whining down the highway here.
Oh, right on. Sounds pretty good. Are you guys still driving home?
Yeah, we're almost back to Texas. We're going to be in Amarillo tonight. That's where we're going to stop.
Oh, right on. I don't know if it's going to be too safe for you guys to keep doing this while you're driving, but is there any chance that we can get your cell phone a little closer to your mouth?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I'll be talking into it, not so much looking at it.
Yeah, no worries. But that's totally cool with us. And I think I tried to get your brother on. I don't know if he was able to accept. Is he sitting right next to you too?
I'm on here behind me.
Oh, okay. It's just, we can't. Oh, there you go. You guys are like pretty black. So, well, thank you guys very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. I'm going to get you guys on the live screen. So a couple things. Hunter Miller and Cody Miller, both, we're going to start calling you KOH veterans at some point here. Hunter, you ended up crossing the finish line second this year in the Can-Am Pro Turbo class. And unfortunately, Cody looked like his car got eaten by a grizzly bear.
Yeah, my race went pretty decent. I had, my own troubles. I started off pretty good and then had a flat tire and a blown belt, and then I rolled it over like a dummy. So that cost me a bunch of time, but still, Chad and I brought it back second, and pretty happy with it.
Yeah, that race doesn't adversity is basically the name of the game, right? Like how you handle the adversity and how you handle everything that's going on. What was some of the stuff that you guys had to deal with? I mean, you said you tipped it over and, you have to manage the car, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The competition in that class is getting so stiff that honestly, you have to have a dang near perfect day like Kyle did in order to win, everybody's going so fast and everybody's cars are so good that it's really a full-on sprint, like a short course race, and whoever's car holds together the best is going to get through it, and come out on top.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I mean, it's like a battle of attrition because the car is the name of the game during that race, just because there's so many variables when you're going through. And when we're talking about variables, I had the
I'll tell you what,
Go ahead, Cody. That's what I was going to ask you, is the variables. I had the opportunity to talk to you after the race. And you were telling me about it.
Yeah, so my UTV race started out good. We had a good run going through the desert, and shortly after the Cougar Buttes obstacle in the desert, we came upon a hill, and at the bottom of it, kind of a blind roller, there was Kyle Chaney's rock, the same rock that took him out in the desert race. Started trying to end my day early in the UTV race. I tried to avoid it, ended up getting kicked up real hard on it, and had to panic rev to keep the car from doing a front flip. And when I landed, it broke a rear axle. So that was real early on in the race, and I limped it back to pit one, and the guys got it changed really quickly. And I took back off, and as soon as I got back into the Spooners part of the rock trail, which is the very first trail, I broke the other rear axle.
Oh, man. So you're front wheel driving it?
Yeah, I had packed a spare rear axle, so I jumped out and we changed that other rear axle in the trail. And once I had that going, I was still up in the top 10 and had a chance for a top 5. But shortly after that, the very next rock obstacle, I flipped the car on its side. And and I was super frustrated. I jumped out. I was about to get the winch into a place where I could flip it over. And luckily enough, my Can-Am teammate, Dustin Jones, pulled up, started sacrificing time out of his race to flip me over. So big thanks to Dustin Jones and the S3 guys for stopping and taking care of me. They got me back on my wheels pretty quickly.
That's actually awesome that they were able to lend a hand too, right? But it sounded like during that little, I don't know, escapade, whatever you want to call it, like it was pretty gnarly for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was, you know, I didn't have my typical co-driver, Cody Taylor, in the car. He had gotten a stomach bug that I had given him just a couple days before. We were like cripplingly painful guts out there. I mean, it was something that you wouldn't want to get out of bed unless you were going to the bathroom. So luckily he got over that right before the 4,400 race.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you guys did that race. I wasn't there for the 4,400 race. How did it go? How did it go for both of you guys? Maybe Cody, you can answer first since you brought it up, and then we'll get Hunter's.
Yeah, you don't want to hear about mine, just Cody's.
The 4,400 race was absolutely incredible. It always is. It's such a different feel out there whenever you're the guy in a golf cart and you're racing against the monster trucks. But our golf carts are super fast, and I think they handle the desert and most of the obstacles better. We just don't quite have the same kind of top speed those guys do. But it went incredibly well for me. I had one flat tire and one belt change was basically the only things that slowed us down throughout the day, and we were able to come out with an 8th place overall.
No grizzly bears on course at that time?
You know, we kept it on his wheels all day long, and that was
we missed a little bit of the last stuff that you just said.
The difference between Taylor in the car and out there, they made a mistake all day.
Yeah, I mean, dude, battling against those bigger 4,400 vehicles, like, it's got to be a little intimidating.
It definitely is, especially whenever you're in the desert doing, 80, 90 miles an hour, and they're side by side with you. You know, there was probably 4 or 5 instances where me and Cody Taylor were just driving along what I call bushwhacking, which is we're basically 2 car lengths off the main trail in the desert, just smashing over bushes so that we're not driving in their dust, and B, we have an opportunity to pass the guy in front of us.
Yeah, and also you're staying away from if somebody stopped or if something weird is going on course.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I do not do is drive blindly in the dust. That's just too dangerous for me. I've got too many more races I want to do before I die.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny is Rob McCachran, everybody asks him, they say, hey, how do you drive when you get in the dust? He goes, well, I slow down.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's honestly what you have to do. And that's one of the big topics of concern with us in that class. You know, a lot of the 4,400 cars are over 6,000 pounds. And if one smashes into the back of us in the dust at only 2,000 pounds, it's going to be bad news for everybody, but especially us, So there's a lot of talk going around about, what can be done to improve the safety in the dust. And, big cars with small cars is not like a new thing, in Score and everywhere else where, the trophy trucks start behind the quads and motorcycles, they're chasing those things down the same way.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, right? And we actually have talked about this a million times, dude. And I don't know that there's anything that you can do that's going to be an end all to that scariness.
No, and I agree. Trying to reinvent a UTV to make it to where it'll stand up to getting smashed by a 4,400 truck is not going to happen.
Yeah, you can't have to build a 4,400.
Yeah, that's it. So, in my mind, realistically, the answer is getting more light behind the cars, whatever it takes to try to cut through the dust and give the guy that's chasing as much visibility and warning of the car ahead of them as possible. By now everybody's seen the video of JP Gomez accidentally smashing into the back of the guy in the 4,400 race. And
that wasn't even something that he could control. I mean, it is what it is. Right?
No, it was a racing deal, it sucks for sure. He was just, the guy ahead was limping along the best he could with, his mechanical issue he was having, and JP was trying to, keep running up front. I mean, it was just a racing incident, but it's also scary to think about, but it is part of desert racing, and there's always going to be big cars out there with small cars and quads and motorcycles and everything else, and dust is not going anywhere for desert racing either. So, I feel like some steps need to be made with rules to possibly try to give the guys behind a little bit more visibility. Matter of fact, we had the idea that, we were going to put on the buggy whips on the back of our cars to try to give the 4,400 cars a little more visibility of us. And Terry Madden actually made that happen. He went over, he knew the guy, and got us a couple of whips put on our cars to just try to get something a little bit higher that maybe will catch their attention.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man. Yeah, anything you can do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not saying the buggy whips are like the perfect answer, but anything helps. And maybe like amber fog lights pointed back, I'm not sure exactly. I'm no expert on the subject, but and definitely not with desert racing. But
I like how you're getting creative, though. That creativity leads to a lot of good things happening. So hopefully something can happen in the future, because it is gnarly when you think about it from that aspect. And like a guy like me who doesn't get out on course and race against these guys would never even understand something like that. So I'm glad you're bringing it to light.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's the biggest danger and one of our biggest fears. Chad and I had the discussion in the car. It's like, okay, if we roll over in the main race line, like what's our plan? We got to get away from it and try to recover the car, but we also have to warn the guys behind us that we're rolled over here. So
yeah, 100%. Brian Atkinson said, proud of you boys. Yeah, I think a lot of us are proud. Man, you guys did do a great job. You guys spent a ton of time out there pre-running. I mean, you guys basically lived out there for God knows how, 3 weeks, a month, like just getting everything ready. And when you come away with, we'll call it a mixed weekend, right? Because you guys did well, didn't do so well, did well, didn't do so well. What's the move since you're driving back home right now? Are you guys diagnosing it, kind of getting things ready for next year, like figuring out what to do better? Like, how does it go?
It's such a double-edged sword because, like you said, we've been out there so long and you're so burned that you don't even think about race. But I'm driving myself, and it's like, all right, so what are we going to do to make sure that
it sounds like we got a little bit of a bad connection for Hunter. What was he saying, Cody?
Yeah, basically we've been on the phone all day with sponsors and friends trying to figure out the next steps to improve our game. We put everything that we've got into this race, and to come out with a second place in UTV and 8th place in the 4,400 is excellent, but we always come out here trying to and expecting to win. So anytime we don't accomplish that, it's kind of frustrating for us, and it definitely is one of the things that makes us build our speed and build our tactic.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. So maybe on a funnier note, it looks like we're losing Hunter, but on a funnier note, you guys have had a running battle, I guess you could say, with Kyle Chaney for a while. Now that he's already got the victory the last couple years in a row, it probably lights the fire for you guys to want to beat him a little bit more, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Kyle's one of our top competition. I mean, he's it doesn't matter what race we go to, we know Kyle's going to be there to win the same that we are, and I would say that he's definitely one of our best competitors as far as, all the way back at GNCC, he was spanking us to begin with, and then we were able to get ahead of him the last couple of years, and it's the same thing back at Texplex. We battle every time, and he's either winning or we're winning, and the only disadvantage Kyle's got is there's two of us.
Yeah, you can double team him, right? But it is cool that you guys can go and have beers together after, or have twisted teas afterwards, and do a good job. Hey Hunter, I don't know if you can, but we got a lot of background noise, so maybe just log off right now. We can just talk with Cody, but it's cool to think that you guys have such a good competitive nature with all of you guys. You guys can work together. You guys can pre-run together. You guys can do all of these different things. So how is it when you see him do so well and you guys do so well together? Is it just the vibe just keeps going and building from there?
Yeah, we're definitely, we're each other's top competitors, but we're also like best friends off the track and really on the track. We talk to each other throughout the 4,400 race and UTV race even. We're all in this together. We're all Can-Am factory guys, and we're kind of all doing it for our sponsors. We each want to beat one another, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to be at the top together. You know, we all enjoy sharing that podium.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Ryan Tewksbury just commented and said 3 humble giants, Hunter, Cody, and Kyle. I can definitely agree with that. But as humble as they are, we know that they're super hard workers. I mean, putting in all this effort and coming home with the mixed results, we know that you guys are winners and you guys want to keep winning in the years to come. But you got to go home with your head held high still, because you guys did do a really good job.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. You know, we are, like I said, we're very proud to have gotten the results that we did. We just never really are satisfied with anything less than first place. I mean, that's something that every competitor feels, and that's, you know, what keeps us coming back. It's just like whenever you play golf, every once in a while that one golf shot will keep you in the game, and
yep,
that sheer excitement, joy, and everything. That's what we all live for. We're happy whenever we come out with good results, but we're not satisfied unless we're winning.
Yeah, dude, I can definitely agree with that. Hey, so what's next for you guys? Is Texplex coming up on the schedule? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so we've got about a 2-week break, and throughout that time, we're going to be prepping our short course cars for the Texas Outlaw Series Round 1 at Texplex, and we're really excited about that. I got a championship to defend there.
Woo!
And yeah, I was able to slide my way in there and win the one championship this year. Hunter won it last year. Which,
it'll be cool though. We're I'm gonna come out and try to do some of the live feed stuff out there at Texplex with you guys. So we'll have to sit down and have a twisted tea or something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Those races are such a great time, and it's so relaxed for us because it's only like an hour and a half drive instead of this 24-hour drive out to California.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly, man. But I do appreciate you guys coming out to California, spending the time, doing the work, and obviously putting in all the results and things like that you guys get. I think it's just good to see you guys out here. It's really cool that the sport is growing so much. It's cool that you guys are showing that UTVs can compete with some of the bigger level classes. I just think that everything about these past couple years and the weekends that you guys are producing and going through, and it's not just you guys, there's other people involved too, but it really shows how fruitful the off-road industry is, and especially the side-by-side market.
Yeah, you know, my brother and I have been racing for most of our lives. We're in our mid-30s now, and if you've been able to see our shop and the way that our race program is running now, is it's pretty amazing considering where we started. You know, we used to be working out of the bottom of my parents' house, and we had enough room to get like one quad and one side-by-side in that shop at a time, and otherwise we were out, you know, working in the gravel, sometimes underneath easy ups.
Yeah.
It was a lot to look back on, and, you know, it makes us really appreciate all we've been able to accomplish now.
Yeah, I can definitely vouch for that, man. When you look back on the things that you've been able to push through and where you're at now, there's a lot of people that would look at it and say, "Oh, I could win if I had that program." Well, you have to be a winner first, and then you have to put together the program. So I think that the job that you guys are doing is pretty amazing, man. So we'll let you go. I really appreciate you guys, you know, hanging out with us while you guys are driving home. So please tell your brother we said thank you for jumping on too.
You bet. Thanks for having us, and we'll look forward to seeing you again out there soon.
Yeah, we'll see you at Texplex, buddy.
All right, have a good one.
See ya. That was rad to see those guys. We're going to get RJ Anderson on in just a second here, but man, it's so cool to see the Miller boys doing so well and putting their Can-Ams up there. Hey, RJ Anderson, what's up, dude? How are you?
You got me this time?
Fine, dude. Big rock guy. All of a sudden, big rock guy, big Wi-Fi guy. Let me give you a proper introduction. So, RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver and, Class 1 driver as well. Went out to KOH for the first time, raced in the desert race in a Class 1 car, and raced in the rock race in a Polaris, I think a Turbo S, and came out with 2 victories. Dude, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was actually a Pro XP, Ronnie's Pro XP from last year. So,
okay,
man, what a weekend! I until about 2.5 weeks ago, I wasn't planning on racing the rock race and have no business out there, to be 100% honest. So, I was planning on doing the desert race without him in the one car the whole time, but the UTV race was definitely last minute, and man, I had to learn a lot in a short amount of time. Let's just say that.
How was it cramming all that in?
Dude, it's insane. I mean, you've gone out there probably the week for hammers, but dude, there's so much going on. You're in the middle of a lake bed. They call it like the Burning Man of off-road, and I kind of see that why now, because Dude, it's absolutely insane. The amount of people, the fans, the people camped out there, they live for it, and it's it's pretty cool because it's like the only spot where you can go out with your family, take your racer, drive on trails all day, and then pull up to a spot, watch badass race cars go by, and then keep on with your day. It's a pretty cool event.
Dude, exactly. So I don't know if you can see him. I can't see him right now, but I'll give him an introduction anyways. Ron Dog Anderson just creeping in the background right here on the black screen. What's up, Ronnie?
What's up, boys? You guys see me a little bit here?
No, we can't see you at all, dude. Straight black.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe get a flashlight. There we go,
that?
dude.
Am I looking better?
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Dude, coming out of the
Way
woodwork.
better.
Yeah, we can see you, dude. Hey, so you're a big rock guy now. Were you able to teach your brother some tricks?
I might have taught him a little bit, but apparently he should be teaching me more. He actually finished this year, and I did not. So maybe the roles need to be reversed next year.
All right, so let's kind of keep on the positive note real quick. We'll talk about your race a little bit as well, Ronnie. But RJ, so now that you fixed your Wi-Fi, you must feel fantastic. You come home with 2 wins. I mean, this week is just going fantastic for you, dude.
Dude, I didn't fix my Wi-Fi. I just figured out I turned it off. So I'm just not even on Wi-Fi. Cell service only over here. So, yeah, dude, it was a good week. I mean, obviously in racing, anything could happen. As you saw with Ronnie, me and the team and a bunch of other guys put weeks of effort into his car. Like I said originally, I was never even planning on racing. Ronnie kind of talked me into it, showed me the ropes. It was kind of a crash course and set me on my way. But anything could happen. So it's rad to start the year on a good note for sure.
Yeah, it was cool. And then, Ronnie, I don't know if you were able to see anything on social media. I posted something where RJ and Doug were cruising by the little section of where Seth gave them a little bit of some moonshine while they were out there. They threw us back some love. They were having a good time out there on course, man. It was awesome to see. Oh, looks like Ronnie's bogging out. But it was cool to see that, man.
You're breaking up. Sorry,
we're the ones breaking up. Hey, look, now Ronnie's the Wi-Fi guy.
Exactly, dude. Big Wi-Fi problems over here at the
I need to get on some Wi-Fi for sure.
But yeah, so when I saw that, RJ, on a serious note, and Doug was kind of throwing us a shout out, he was ready to get out of the car if he needed to, and you guys were kind of making your way through it. I said to those guys, I go, what's rad about this is Doug and RJ, this is their first time. They're really concentrating on doing the best they can, but they're still having a good time. Like, that really means a lot to me to see that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, you have to enjoy the process, because if you just took it serious and when stuff happens, there were so many times that race where I got frustrated, and that's by far the most amount of times I've put my car into reverse in a race. And so you get frustrated, you get flustered, you go through all the motions, and Doug is kind of like the one dude, we have no idea what we're doing out here. You can't get mad. We're running in the top 5 of this super gnarly race that we don't even know where we're at on course. Yep. We're making mistakes left and right. And he's like, dude, we just have to have fun. Keep this thing moving. And that's what we're able to do.
Dude, it's so crazy, though. And you guys did so well. It's really cool to see that work actually paid off, that Ronnie's tutorials actually hooked you up. Now we have Bangers Only joining us, Daniel Schenkelberg.
What? So, bro, RJ, I don't know if he's ready for his new rock racing career to take off.
I think I could do a one and done type deal for Hammers, was able to finish, win my class. I think I just got to sign that one off, maybe.
Ronnie, is RJ just dropping the mic right now?
That's what he sounds like. He did this 2.5 weeks before Hammers too, and then he ended up racing though. So we'll see when it comes down to time next year if he ends up racing or not.
He's going out on top.
That car is actually for sale. It's Ronnie's old car. No one bought it. We had it for sale, and I'm like, you know what? Sitting here, it's ready to go. Kind of prove a point, put that thing in the top 5, and so she's still for sale. But I don't know. I don't know about a career in rock racing.
Yeah, if she's for sale, winners win.
Yeah, it's a championship car now.
Yeah, there you go.
For sale, as is. Now they have to prep it themselves.
Perfect. All right, so let's get back on track a little bit here. So the the preparation that you guys had was minimal, I guess you could say, for you, RJ. I mean, you did a little bit and you kind of understood what was going on. You have the basics. But Ronnie, you actually put quite a bit of prep into it. You had a new car built. I think it was a Turbo R, and that thing looked so insanely good. How did it do? You guys, because you qualified really well.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the new Turbo R for sure. It was a long work for the boys and long nights for sure leading up to Hammers, but I think it paid off for sure. We were definitely the ones to be in the desert course. We were leading up front for a while there before we had a little bit of problems with the transmission, but definitely the Turbo R is definitely going to be the new thing to be in the desert.
Yeah, it's rad that you guys are out there testing it too, because that's what leads to the better parts and better things that'll happen in the future, is you guys going out there and putting a beating on these vehicles. I mean, and doing it at KOH, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, for sure. We actually had a pre-runner come down about a month before the race, and Keats came down every weekend, and we went out there, pre-ran every weekend pretty much before actual King of the Hammers race. So we definitely put all the time in we could. It just wasn't our day.
Yeah. Ronnie, how many Hot Pockets do you think you ate the whole King of Hammers week?
Dude, actually not many. I think I only had like 5, which is weird. I packed RJ came to pack more food and everything, so he came more prepared.
That's hilarious, dude. How many did you pack? 16?
Oh no, I buy two 12-packers, so 24.
Oh, big Hot Pocket guy.
Big Hot Pocket.
Well, I got to take care of Daniel and Paul, Travis, Keats, all in my motorhome, so they take down almost more Hot Pockets than me.
No, I brought some keto waffles, and then they started making fun of me and shit.
Yeah, who buys keto waffles?
Yeah, for sure.
That is kind of
so
weird.
I can drink Coors Light. I gotta eat some keto waffles for some Coors Light, baby.
I didn't even know they can make waffles keto. That just sounds like plastic.
It's like insurance. He knows no one will steal his waffles if they're keto waffles.
Hey,
yeah, actually,
that's the move, right?
Whatever's healthy, you put it in the fridge, guaranteed not to get touched the whole week. Like I brought green drink, and nobody touched my green juice.
So let me ask you guys all the same question, and RJ, you can go first, then we'll let Ronnie, and then we'll let Daniel go. What was your guys' favorite part about the whole event? Because you can tell me like a part of the course that you guys really liked that was challenging, maybe hanging out with the crew, a Hot Pocket. Clearly it wasn't keto waffles, but anything for the whole week that you were there.
Yeah, I mean, the whole event's just rad. I mean, there's not one part of the course that's tough because the whole damn course is tough, in my opinion. I think it's cool how many racers they get out there. Dave Cole throws on a rad event, obviously brings in the spectators. All the racers, dude. I mean, in the UTV class, there was literally like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 guys that could possibly win, you know? So the competition all comes out from all different parts of the United States, all over the world to race that race. It's absolutely brutal. I'm not quite sure why everyone does it. I live 2 hours down the road and was still questioning it. But yeah, it's I think that was my favorite part, just how big of a mega event those guys put on.
It probably gives you more respect for Mitch Guthrie Sr., knowing that he's been the champ for so long.
Oh, dude. I mean, so many times in the race, like knowing the rocks, like they changed throughout the week for sure. But we would go into certain canyons and I would pick the complete wrong lines and I wouldn't notice until I'm fully committed. Then I'm like, oh, yep, the left line was definitely way better at this one. But there's definitely an act to it. And it's more knowing the capabilities of what you're driving, because some of the lines look absolutely insane, but actually sometimes going over bigger rocks gets you in less of a situation, keeps you rolling forward. So it's there is an act to it for sure.
Yeah, and like we were talking with CJ Greaves earlier, and he was like hitting the switches, getting the suspension all changed up, and like going over some of that stuff. He was saying like some of the techniques, you like head for the biggest rock to get more clearance over the next ones. Like, dude, that's so crazy. And Ronnie, like when RJ and CJ were talking about this, does that like ring a bell with you? Like the rocks moving and you having to switch it up all the time?
Yeah, for sure. It's almost easier to go over the bigger rocks than it is the smaller ones, because you almost take the bigger ones more serious. And when you're in the littler stuff, you're not really paying attention, kind of going for it. And that's when you end up getting
Yeah, here's what he said.
Really bad.
Well, you can kind of get an idea of what he said, like from what CJ said earlier too. Is like it's difficult to choose your lines, like what RJ was saying. But
backing up is hard because you can't see behind you.
Hey, RJ. So Ronnie was giving you some tips on what to do at KOH. Maybe you can give him some tips on Wi-Fi.
Dude, I'm not a big Wi-Fi guy, but I could tell he's looking even worse off than me.
Bro, I'm the Wi-Fi guy. You should have seen. Actually, no, Paul's the Wi-Fi guy. He got it set up all at King of Hammers after I fucked it up.
Was it good?
It was all right.
No, it was minimal at best, but it was better than nothing.
Better than nothing for sure.
Let's see if we can get Ronnie on here a little bit more. Ronnie, what was your favorite part of the race? And if you bog out, we're gonna have to go to Daniel.
Like the entire event or the race itself?
Let's go with the race because I think the event was pretty awesome. You eating Hot Pockets, so we already know that's going to take number one.
My favorite part of the race, I think probably Sledgehammer. It's this gnarly downhill trail, big waterfall, big little pinch rock, and usually going down trails is super easy, and you like look forward to those trails. They're easy to get down. And you don't look forward to the up trails. And this one was extremely tough to go down. Little pinch rock, wanted to just get you high centered on your belly, and then a big waterfall drop at the end there. So I think that was definitely probably one of my favorite parts of it. And I think RJ actually did get a little high centered there in the race, and the Miller boys had to help push him off.
Yeah, they were talking about that too. That's funny. We just had a really funny comment come through. It said, "Ronnie, please step into the light." All right, Daniel, what was your favorite part of the event?
Did Ronnie tell you about the new trail that he blazed at King of Hammers?
Which one is that?
Oh, you got to ask Ronnie. This is Ronnie's trail.
So what are you going to name it then if it's new?
I'm going to call it the Heart Attack for sure.
And let him know what happened and how that happened.
Well, me and Mitch Guthrie were out there the week before pre-running. RJ was out there as well, but RJ had broke the trail before, and we were pre-running, and Dave had just released on new trails and stuff that he was going to run and gave us like a little bit of a rundown on his live stream. And we thought we had found the new trail called Daydreams, and we ended up going down this trail, and it ended up being absolutely insane. It looked like hardly anyone had ever gone down it before. It was just like 4 back doors in a row. Honestly, dude. It was crazy. I had to winch Mitch Guthrie 2 of them. It was insane.
Dude, it sounds like it was gnarly, but that's the whole deal, right? RJ, is that you can name the trail after you conquer it?
I think so. I don't really. You're asking the wrong guy, dude. I'm not really a rock guy.
We need
on
here.
I figured I figured since you won everything this weekend that you could just answer all these questions for me.
Dude, I mean, I tried. It was funny when I had Doug with me. I was like, all right, this is I think the trail, blah blah. And he was like zoomed in on the GPS, and he's like, dude, none of the trails are named on the GPS. I don't know which trail we're in.
That's awesome. You know what's funny, though, is like as much as we joke around right now, I think like some of the times when you go into these events, and I've done it in non-off-road events before, if you go in kind of naive, it puts you in a better position because your expectations are low and you don't have as much stress when you're out there driving.
Oh, 100%. So every day we would go to pre-run Chocolate Thunder. Everyone kept telling me how gnarly Chocolate Thunder is and that you probably have to winch there, blah, blah. Every day we'd go over there, there was like 17 Jeeps all stuck in all the lines over there, and I never got to pre-run it. So come race day, I pulled up to Chocolate Thunder, never pre-running it. And I think I hit Chocolate Thunder the best out of any rock trail I did the whole time there. So sometimes ignorance is bliss for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, so what's the next on your guys' schedule? RJ, you go first, and then if Ronnie can answer second.
Next race for us is the Mint 400. So that's get his car back together, back sorted out, and then I'll be racing the Class 1 again with Adam, and he'll have his Razor out there at the Mint.
Are you going to be out at Laughlin?
I don't know. Are we doing a chili dog cook-off?
I don't know. 4 Wheel Parts is trying to help out with that one, dude. We'll see. I really wanted this thing to happen, dude, because I feel like that's going to be the highlight of the whole event.
You're on, dude. I'm 2 for 2 this year, so you really want to take me on like that? I'm ready.
I kind of feel like, and plus, like our third competitor, Brian Hosford of Nacho Lighting, he wants to be called Team Nacho. You guys are going to be called Team Pandemonium. and then I'm going to have the lame name called Team Dirt Life. And I'd like to see if we could have Caden Danbury come out and help announce this whole thing. And we'll have Only Bangers do some recording and some photos of it. I think it would be pretty cool to see the winner's face.
That sounds fun.
You tell me when chili dog off, and I'm ready.
Dude, RJ's just peacocking so hard right now, man.
I don't even think I've ever
everything right now.
I've never even made a chili dog before. I don't think.
Yeah, but you never raced King of the Hammers, so I already got it in for me.
And if you guys are ready and you guys want to see some cool video of RJ, we got a video dropping Thursday that you guys should definitely stay tuned to hear all the funny intercom between him and Dougie, and definitely with Ronnie. You guys aren't going to want to miss this drop this week.
Oh, dude, I definitely want to hear that. That'd be pretty cool to hear. I love seeing behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm glad that you guys are putting together all that content. So good on all three of you guys for doing that on a serious note. All right, well, so maybe we'll see you out there at Laughlin. We'll see if this chili dog cook-off comes through. But either way, we'll see you at the Mint 400. What's next for you, Ronnie?
Mint 400. Nothing till then. Just working on the car, getting it back together. Gonna go shake it down, and then we'll be out there.
Right on. And are you gonna follow suit, Daniel, or you got stuff going on in between?
I gotta shoot Laughlin, and then the Mint's kind of up in the air right now. I'll probably be there, just have some fun with the boys.
Right on. Well, I appreciate it, boys. Obviously, congratulations, RJ. You did really well. Daniel, I'm sure that we'll see some bangers this week from the whole event. And Ronnie, dude, you were seriously hauling. I mean, like everybody else had a big target on your back after qualifying, so it was cool, man. I really think you did a good job, even though you had to face some adversity.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. All right, thanks, boys. We really appreciate it.
Right on.
See you guys later. Super cool to see those guys doing so well and having such a good time out at the races. It's neat to see like everybody is having such a great mindset and everything after the races. It seems like everybody's pretty pumped. I know these guys are super busy, and I really appreciate them taking the time to hang out with us on the show. Blake Wilkey, King of the Hammers winner in Class 11 class, and man, you even did some trophy bug stuff out there at King of the Hammers. How was your weekend, dude? It's good to see you.
It was long, man. We were there for 10 days, and it was pretty epic, I must say.
Oh, yeah, I said weekend. It was like even longer than a week, dude. It's crazy, man. But you guys always have a good time when you're out there in the desert.
Oh, man, I'm crusty and dusty after getting everything situated. It took me almost 12 hours to get out of there yesterday. But, man, it was worth every moment of it.
So what was the mindset going in then, or what was like the plan of action? Because you obviously took the Class 11 out there. You kind of had to scramble to get that thing ready, and then you just got finished putting together the trophy bug. What's the move like when you're heading out there? Are you going to test? You're going to race? What's the deal?
Oh, it was full crunch mode. I mean, we had we worked till like 4:30 in the morning getting the Slug Shark all back together. Because the TT bug, we had a big pilot for that drop that we did with Method. So it was just full kill, full thrash. We didn't even get to test the Class 11 because we ran into some issues with some engine work and timelines that just got stretched a little further than we wanted to. So got out there, left at like 6:30 in the morning. The next day I slept for like an hour and a half. Bailed out of here with the toter home and everything loaded up and ready to rock. Got out there, filmed with Method. Then the next day, the Class 11 and the Razor showed up on the wedge trailer. Tested that, got all that dialed since we had a new front beam and a rebuilt transmission and engine. Had to make sure that everything was just firing. So went into dialing in the suspension and these Gladiator trailer tires for getting the size we wanted, just figuring out how exactly those were working with, everything from tire pressures to suspension setup. It was just a mad dash that first weekend for us. I'll tell you what.
It's kind of crazy how much to me, like we've talked to a bunch of people on the show already today, and I talked to people already about it like just after Thursday, and it still amazes me how much work goes into this event, not only for the promoters to put it on, for each individual team. I mean, if you accumulated all of the hours for all of the teams, I mean, it's like years and years worth of work for just all these guys to be out there racing in the desert. So kudos to all of the teams, but also, kudos to you guys, because you guys put in a ton of work. We've been paying attention to your social media. We've been seeing all the great things you're doing. You're keeping us informed. And it's really cool to see that you go out there and you can leave with a smile on your face and, paying your team off with a victory and stuff.
Yeah, and to bring it home again, I mean, the field was stacked. Larry Rossler was there. Some boys from down south from Mexico were there. And there was the field was stacked with, I think, 26 or 27 drivers. I mean, just seeing how many bugs were there lined up, it was like, all right, this is going to be a challenging one. And our goal was to get, top 5 in qualifying, just to where we can see where we shook out, not get caught in any dust around the mountain or coming through the Bronco Arch. And yeah, man, I mean, the amount of work that it takes just for our program and for other people's programs, especially those Ultra 4 boys with, 4-wheel drive and high horsepower and stuff. Yep. It's just, and then their whole crew, it's just amazing to see that many people in the desert that want to race competitively and also have fun and enjoy it. But it's just the Super Bowl of off-road, man. I'll tell you what.
It's so crazy, right? Like, and I've only been there 2 years, last year and this year, and I've only been out for the UTV day both times. But it still amazes me the things that some of these vehicles can go through. And I was going to ask you, like, when you're in the Class 11 and you have to go through some of this terrain, like, how scary or how gnarly is it? Are you just like, dude, we're just going for it?
I mean, this course, since it was a 2-mile loop, after the Bronco Arch, when everybody would go wide, it was kind of one line through there, and there were boulders there that were size of basketballs. And I mean, you can see there's not like one rim on my car inside and out that weren't damaged from even the short course. Because then here's the other side.
Damn, she got smoked, and she's still holding air.
Yeah, I mean, you run tubes because that's inevitable that you're going to get big rim dings on these because they're 1969 stock German methods. So you have to run tubes in these tires because otherwise incidents like that will take you out of the race with a flat, especially on a sprint race of 20 laps on like a 2-mile course. So,
dude, that's so crazy. Yeah. Who was your co-driver?
Kevin, who helped me build the TT Bug. I want to say the inside of these wheels also.
Dude,
yeah, there's another one up on the inside.
Those things look smoked, man. That's so crazy. And like, that's some pretty strong metal too. So like when you're hitting that stuff, you might be hitting it pretty hard.
You feel it. I mean, there's also some rumbles that go where, you hit them and they bounce off. And then like inside the pan here, you can see where a rock literally comes through.
Oh, yeah.
And you feel it just trickle its way down the pan through your feet, lift the car off the ground. I mean, it's exhilarating to say the least.
I was gonna say that's pretty crazy, dude. We just had a comment come in about your hair. Is that because KOH just dried it out, gave you the nice looking locks?
Dude, I cut it myself the other day because I knew I was gonna go there and get dreads. So I'm like, if I cut a little bit off, then I'm gonna be good. Like,
I think it looks fantastic, dude.
I look like an Oompa Loompa, I feel like.
Dude, it looks good. And the comment that came through said that they loved it, too. So did you race the UTV, or did you just cruise in the UTV?
The Polaris was kind of like a pre-runner / cruiser. I mean, it's nice because you have to wear helmets, obviously. But it's nice we have the heated seats from PRP in there. So we just flip that switch on when we're warming her up, get in there, and then it's like just... It's nice, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
It's comfortable with the dynamic suspension. You set it to comfort mode, and it just takes a lot of the chatter out. It's 4-wheel drive, so like when the Hall brothers were testing their 4400, you just hop in that thing and go chase them around a little bit, and it's just convenient, super convenient and fun. I mean, we took that thing through some pretty sketchy stuff, and it's not set up for rocks, but the thing's still so capable. It's just like it's a do-all easy, fun-having machine.
Yeah, it's crazy that you say that because we had CJ Greaves on a little bit earlier, and he was saying the same kind of stuff. He just took basically a stock Turbo R out there, put the safety stuff on it, and then went and raced it. He's like, dude, we were just hitting the switches. Like, we'd be in comfort mode in the desert, and we put it on hard going through the rocks, and we just cruise. He didn't even get any of his, shocks tuned up. He put a spring kit on it and just ripped.
Yeah, dude, they're freaking awesome, man. And off-the-shelf parts, you mess something up, somebody's probably got something there, or it's not full custom, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely, especially because you can share parts when you're out at the races because you always need parts, right? Going back to the week, we'll call it, what was one of the favorite parts of your whole week other than let's bypass the win because I want to understand like a little bit more of what happens behind the scenes in Wilkey's camp?
I mean, when we got there, we did that shoot with method. So like that was super nerve wracking just because, right out of the box, first time freaking this machine even touched dirt was Thursday. As soon as we got there, running on no sleep, wrapping this thing, getting all the logos and everything on it. So we essentially got this girl out of the trailer, went and shot, and everything went super good for like 3 hours with Boyd and the Method Boys, my buddy Will, Baker, Bam Bam, and Kevin. We had like 10 people with us that were all there to shoot this and kind of pilot this before like any content.
It sounds like we lost the audio for you, Blake. I don't know if you can hear me, but we can't. There you go. Will you say the last sentence that you said again?
Check. Oh. So like we had like 10 of the boys there, and our goal was to capture the media before everything kind of got flooded with King of the Hammer stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like nerve wracking. We had all these people in place. We got beauties, and then we went straight to shred mode. So we took the TT bug and put it straight into the paces, and we're hucking it, 6 feet off the ground, hitting this wall at like 60 and banging gears and going through big bumps and trying to figure this thing out, make it look good on camera, and pray that everything went good. It was just it was exciting but stressful as could be. And after seeing,
I could totally see that because I've never built a trophy truck before. I've obviously built UTVs and other different race cars and stuff like that. But when you're going out there, it's a little nerve-wracking when you first put her on course or in the dirt. And but when you have a successful photo shoot, a successful test session, knowing that you put in all of the work over the last, 12, 16 months, however long it's taken you, has got to feel pretty dang awesome.
Yeah, man. And by the end of it, knowing with what we got, and then having Will compile the edit that night, and then getting to see it in the morning and dropping it, and then seeing the success of all the rad partners that we have sharing it, people getting to see it that next day in Hammertown and throughout the weekend. We just kind of let it chill throughout the weekend, and while the big other desert races were going on, this thing was posted up at a few different spots like Foil Parts and King and PRP and whatnot, to where people could see it and touch it. And that was probably the highlight of my weekend, is seeing other people's reactions to the build and the content of what it's capable of right out of the box. I mean, SDG nailed it on the suspension. There's a little bit of fine tuning that we got to make, but after that, midweek, we were hitting some of the deep stuff on the race course at like 90 with the helis following us, the Method heli with Stevie Wright, Living the Dream, and Optic Derek. They were both chasing us. We were posted up in the desert. They came, or one of them came and landed, and we're like, let's shoot. Spur of the moment, tight. And then the other one picked us up, and going through the race course at some of these holes at 90 with 2 helis was just like surreal. It's like, holy shit, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's got to feel good, especially when it's your love child, right? like you put in so much work, and then all of a sudden to go out there and do that. Dude, it honestly, when you're talking about it right now, I mean, I know that you're kind of being mellow and humble about it, but it's giving me goosebumps just thinking about the joy you must have felt ripping.
Dude, it was a childhood dream that came to life, and even bigger and better than I could have ever imagined, bro.
Yeah, that's so cool. What's up, Robbie? Yeah, man, we got a bunch of comments that came through the trophy bugs bitching and stuff. But let's kind of get back to the event a little bit. So going out in Class 11, you had tons of competition. You were able to come home with the victory. What was a special part of that little individual race for you?
Crossing the finish line. I mean, qualifying third, I knew we had a good run, and to see Donovan and Cisco, two really fast dudes, beat us out. I was like, okay, like these guys are going to be moving. Started the race out in third, made our way to first after I think 3 laps, just because there was multiple line selections coming around the mountain. There was a high, medium, and wide line. And it was kind of hard to tell which one was going to be more prosperous. So it was just kind of like, we took our options, and then coming through the Bronco Arch, there was 2 different lines, and I kind of charged inside super hard to get around Bio there. And, once we were in front and we started kind of getting a little bit of a lead, lap traffic came into it, which there was some single line stuff. There was a lot of gnarly dust. There were some bottlenecks coming up the Bronco Arch where we had to maneuver around cars. So, it was nerve-wracking not having, open desert and knowing that there's those other elements to this type of race format that we were going to have to overcome. So it was just staying calm, smooth, collective, taking our time to pass some of the guys that we came up on lap traffic, and bringing it home, dude. But we nailed everything that we intended to do, except for maybe a little bit more tests and not such late nights leading up to it. But it all played off, and we're 2 times champs now.
Dude, I'm so stoked for you, man. It's super cool to see. Regular Rusty, yeah, this IMG Razor does look official. That's James' personal vehicle. He's a big rock guy now. We took it out on course a little bit, so that was fun. But yeah, man, KOH is just a whole animal by itself. I think it's cool that guys like you go out there, show support for the racing organization, and obviously have some fun at the same time, too. It takes a lot to win at those races. So congratulations, man. And I know that you had a long 10 days. I hope that you guys get some rest. Really appreciate you coming on the show.
No doubt, dude. I'm looking forward to next year. That event's one that I never want to miss because it's just awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Every time you go out there, it's like everybody said it on this show. It's like, oh, man, it took so much out of me. But then you're chomping at the bit to get back out.
Yeah, today I was cleaning everything. I was like, man, kind of miss being out there. But
already?
Yeah, dude, already. But it's good to be home and get back to the grind and get this thing ready for the Mint 400.
So you are going to take it out there?
Yep, I'm going to let my buddy Justin from Heatwave race the Class 11. So we're going to give that a full prep, and then because we can't qualify and race because qualifying is the day of the limited class cars.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to let him go spin the wheels on that thing, and then we'll go qualify with the TT Bug when they're racing, and then get our feet wet with the big boys, and hopefully just come home with a finish.
Man, I think that's so cool that you're doing that, dude. The progression that you've made in your racing career so far, it's really impressive to see, dude. And I'm proud of all the stuff that you're doing. You're doing it, we'll call it the long way or the hard way, but you're really, really showing people that if you put in the work, stuff does start coming to fruition and paying off. So I cannot wait to see you rip that thing in the dirt.
Dude, it's gonna be exciting, and can't be misidentified with any other TT, man, because it's a bug.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to see that thing out on course. All right, well, I'll be if I do end up announcing the Mint 400, I'll be spitting some love for you. That's for sure, dude. Hopefully you can get some rest, dude. And like I said, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm about to call it. It's been a long day, but we'll be back at it tomorrow. I appreciate you for having me on the show, bro.
Yeah, take it easy, dude. Really appreciate it.
Later, everyone.
Man, that's so cool to see Blake. He's tired. He's got a big old smile on his face. That means off-road just means the world to him. We're going to have Jeff Proctor on in just a second here, as well as Bailey Cole is going to come on and join us and hang out with us for a little bit. They came away, Honda Off-Road, got a normally aspirated, I think is what the class is called, naturally aspirated. We'll get Bailey Cole on here. He can tell us a little bit more about it. And Jeff Proctor's hopefully going to be able to join us too. It's cool to see that, Bailey will be able to tell us about it. Big winner here. Bailey, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing pretty well. How are you guys?
We're doing awesome, dude. Thank you very much for joining us on Instagram Live in the Dirt Life Show, episode 116.
Awesome. It's awesome to be here. I actually just walked into my friends over at Monkey with the Knife's house. Just got in from the desert. They're actually the ones that, I don't know if you saw, flew their helicopter off the top, or flew their race car with a helicopter off the top of Jack.
Oh, that was these guys?
Yeah, that was these guys right here.
Dude, you guys are so gnarly, man. That's crazy. We did see that video. That was just insane, man. Is that the first time that's ever happened out there?
So I know Robbie Gordon, when he blew his motor on the lake bed, he flew himself off of the desert. But I think that's the first time a race car's ever actually gotten flown off the trail. It was pretty cool to watch.
It is pretty cool to watch. I'd also like to welcome Honda Offroad Proctor Racing Group's Jeff Proctor to the show. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, George. How's it going, man?
We're doing pretty good, man. You guys have spent a lot of time out in the desert, you and Bailey both. And, man, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to join us on the Dirt Life show, especially because you guys have much-needed sleep ahead of you.
Hey, we wouldn't miss the show for anything, man. We appreciate what you do for the sport. And even though we're recovering from hammer lung and hammer sinus, we're still here.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys both had, a pretty long, week, 10 days out there in the desert. Let's talk a little bit about your desert race, Jeff, first, and then we'll go into you guys taking the victory in the Honda Talon. So you guys go out there and you have two different goals. You have a goal to race the, I think it's called the T2 class now.
That's correct. It's spec trophy truck, but they call it T2 for hammers.
Okay, and that's in the Honda Ridgeline, and then Bailey raced the Honda Talon in the naturally aspirated UTV class. But give us a little bit of a rundown about the Ridgeline and the desert race.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we're just so stoked to be out there at that event. It's such an incredible event. I heard Blake talking about it, and it's really hard to put into words for people who haven't attended. But, when you're looking at over 100,000 people out there supporting the sport that we love and we participate in, it really means a lot to all of us, and hats off to Dave and his team for putting on such a fantastic race. So, we were stoked to be a part of it. It's our second year in the Ridgeline, our third year in the Talons. And, it's just a phenomenal race. As far as the T2 race, we had a tough race with, we made a minor setup change with our wheel and tire package, and it just unfortunately didn't work out. And I'll be honest with you guys, we went from a cast wheel to a forged wheel, and it was no fault of KMC's, but the machining was slightly different and it wasn't holding the bead on our tire. And so we just struggled with keeping the tire on our bead with that small little adjustment that we made all day. But I will say that this, hats off to all the T2 racers out there. It was highly competitive. Everybody showed up with their A game, and the pace was unreal. I mean, when you have a spec trophy truck come in second place overall, I can tell you I was in the race. I was in the lead pack the first lap. The pace was like full wood, like no checking up for anything to keep the pace. Incredible.
That's so crazy to me to think. Like, I would always think, like, when you see a desert race, you say, oh, race at 90%, race at 80%. You got to make the vehicle last. But, Bailey, when you saw that they were going that fast, were you like, holy cow, this is crazy?
Man, the desert racers were insane. They were flying all day long. And, for the rest of the week, everybody had to deal with their holes afterwards. Turns out, high horsepower cars on 40s dig some big square edge holes.
Oh, I can only imagine. I got to take a ride in the Honda Ridgeline with those 40s, and it was nice hitting some of those big holes, but I can imagine hitting them after in a UTV would be pretty gnarly. So the race was, you got some variables thrown at you, Jeff, but you were still able to come away with a smile on your face. Obviously, you got to hang out with your whole team while you were out there. You guys learned a lot, and then you have to shift gears to race the UTV stuff.
Yeah, we were fortunate, Evan and I were fortunate to finish the race and get the Ridgeline to the finish line, and then automatically switched gears and focused on Bailey and Jordan Pellegrino qualifying on Monday. And both of them did a fantastic job qualifying those NA cars in a stacked field of turbo cars. And just really fortunate to have Bailey and Jordan, both of their rock experience on the Talon team for this one-off race.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the questions that I wanted to have. So perfect lead in, Jeff. Thank you very much. Is Bailey, this is the first time that we've spoken. I've spoke to you a little bit at King of the Hammers, but maybe you can give our audience a little bit better understanding of your experience in the rocks and the racing prowess that you have.
So I kind of grew up in that desert. When I was 6, I actually drove my first rock trail in my dad's rock buggy. So he used to compete in like We Rock and that kind of stuff.
Oh, no big deal. I was 6 just driving in the rocks. No big deal.
He had a double low transfer case and he put it double low first gear, and I had to stand up on the seat and turn the steering wheel. And that's how I drove my first rock trail. Couldn't even reach the pedals.
You know what's funny is I can just see like everybody now like in the off-road culture being like, all right, we're going to put in our contract. We're going to start hiring guys when they're 6 years old.
No. So, I was incredibly lucky to grow up in this industry, in this world. And it's really helped me to become who I am today, growing up with some amazing people like, Jeff and these monkey guys. And there's more people than I could even say. Just wonderful place to grow up. And started racing. I think we actually did the math. It was right around 10 years ago. In 2013 was my first year racing.
Man, it's so young, but so much talent. And so it's such a veteran already, right, Jeff?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, Bailey's being extremely humble about his experience, but there's a reason why we brought him on the team. We knew he was stacked with a lot of experience and pretty much lives out in those rocks and knows them like the back of his hand. So we're fortunate to have him on the team.
Yeah, that is super cool. And then so you had a pretty eventful week, though, didn't you, Bailey?
Yeah, no, it was a really fun week. I got to race the Talon and the new Broncos, and both were amazing and great races.
Yeah,
the Talon. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so give us a little bit more of a rundown on the UTV race.
So in the UTV race, we got a pretty strong qualifying. I think we beat last year's qualifying by like 10, 15 places. The Talons felt really, really strong, and I felt really good. We were the first NA car qualifier, so we were up in that strong field. And this year we did a lot of shock work with Fox, and that first desert lap, we went from right around 40th place starting and picked off 20 cars in that first lap right away. So super strong first lap. Yeah, no, it was really great. Super fast. The cars felt amazing, and got into the rocks, where I was supposed to be strong at, and tried to throw it away a little bit, ended up on my...
Hey, we just had a comment come in from another guy that you guys might know. Ethan Ebert said he's a big Honda guy.
Big Honda guy. We know that guy.
Yeah. So what's up, Ethan? I'm sure you like to see your teammates do well. So, yeah, man, it's crazy to understand, like, with all of the things that we've been talking about in the show, how much adversity you can face in the rocks, and then you come out here and say that you passed so many people in the first beginning portion of the race. Like, to me, that just screams skill set and understanding what you're going through in the terrain, right? Because most people wouldn't be able to do that. So kudos to you, dude.
Thanks. No, luckily I was in an amazing car, and I did end up on my side twice, but the Honda didn't want to let me down and didn't want to let the team down and just kept on moving.
Way to go, dude. I think you should pay for the scratches when Jeff's guys have to work on them.
No kidding.
George, what was the most impressive thing for me, not being a rock guy, is that we're watching Bailey on the Jumbotron, praying for him to get down out of the rocks. He puts the car on its side. And, the navigator hops out like no big deal and lassos a rock. He looks for a rock and lassos a rock. And they had the car pulled back over with the winch within 3 minutes. Navigator's back in the car, and they're just continuing on like that was just part of their plan. These rock guys are crazy. I can't even describe what it's like, but yeah, you guys are insane, Bailey.
I was wondering that same thing. Like, is that just like the norm? Because like when I think of these guys rolling over, like Cody Miller was telling me something like he rolled over and then they got the car righted again and then it rolled over on the other side and then it like tumbled and it was like a whole like whirlwind effect. And I was like, dude, I don't want any part of that. But it sounds like it's just a day in the park or day in the life.
I try. I normally don't end up on my side or upside down. I think I've had like 2 rollovers in the last 4 years, and I got 2 in one day. And I was like, the first one, I was like, wow, that was just, I don't even really know what happened. It was on sledge, and I dropped down the plaque line, and then the car kind of just fell over. Like, it's almost unexplainable because my co-driver was at the bottom, and he was like, I don't know, you must have just like landed on a rock rug and it flipped over. And it was like, wow, that happened fast. But I was like, okay, it is what it is, and we'll keep on moving. And then the next one, I thought I could just pop the front end down and it'd be fine. Ended up a little high and then right on the side. And I was like, oh man, Jeff is not going to bring me back next year. This is our race over.
You know what the funny thing is I'm just like, hey, this is normal for rock racing. Like,
what are you
just come out of this race flat.
What are you going to do, right? He keeps scratching the equipment. I mean, you just got to keep letting him go. But you still did. I mean,
that is one thing that this race destroys race cars. I mean, those rocks are brutal on race cars, and that's just something you kind of go in accepting.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Gardner, what's up, man? It's good to see you. So what was the next? What's the next thing? You kind of just put it out of your head and just keep going?
Yeah, when those situations happen, it's almost like, when you get a flat or something like that, it's kind of like it has to be in the past and you just got to keep on moving. Hope to not do it again.
Yeah, and then so obviously if we want to fast forward through the race, you're able to obviously come home with the win. Towards the end of the race where you're just like, man, we got it now. Like, this is going to be our victory.
So really after the second rollover, there was, I think, 2 or 3 guys that got past me, but I was like, I rolled twice. There's no way we're still doing really well. And we pulled into the finish, and I remember coming over the Bronco arch and coming around turn 19, as it got called, after that trophy truck race or T1 race.
Yeah, that was funny. Hey, you know what's funny? Yeah, because the Herbst guys are number 19. I was a little bit offended by that because my favorite number is 19 too. So what the heck, dude? But yeah, so you come through there, and then what are you thinking?
So Jeff got on the radio and said, "You're P1," and I was like, "There's no way. There's no way this race." Had a little bit of shaky middle, really good beginning, a little shaky middle, and then good end. I didn't think there was any way we were P1, but we were. It was super exciting.
What do you know, right? I mean, like, we've talked with all the racers before you guys on the show, and adversity seems like a really common topic. And like, if you really actually never know what's going to happen till you really do cross the finish, like what you just said.
No kidding. Like, there's a ton of racers, 10 miles out running through the desert and break right then. Like, it could be going great and something dumb happened.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to keep on the Honda subject because of the UTV stuff, but you also did very well in the Ford Bronco. But what was your favorite part of the event overall?
So honestly, my favorite part of the event is, it's kind of a 2-parter. The grudge match was absolutely insane.
Yeah, how did that go? Fun. I had to bail out before that. How did it go for you guys?
So I think we started 8th or 9th or so, somewhere around there, and it was just stacked full of turbo cars. I mean, I think it was me and McGrath were the only 2 NA cars.
Dustin Battleaxe Jones was just on, and he said he probably started right behind you because I think he said he started 12th. He said he just went full wood, like off the gate, and just like smashed past everybody. Did he just like go by you, or were you guys behind him?
I think that is one of the guys. So turn 1, we got pulled off the start just because we were in an NA car. And it ended up, we were in an NA car, and I think it might have been Jones, came on the inside and hit the car in front of us. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a 3-4 car pileup. I got to make sure I'm not in there.
That's why they call it a grudge match, dude. It's all or nothing.
No kidding. And we got to the backside.
Hey, that's how every Lucas Oil short course race was that I ever entered.
So the backstory to the grudge match is that Bailey and I are talking in the pits while they kind of, quarantined the car a little bit, but while we were waiting for it to start. And he's like, hey, so the car looks pretty good. Like, what do you want me to do, Jeff? Like, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You already won your class. Go drive that thing as hard as you can. Try to break it, burn it to the ground. Like, let's go and put on a show.
Yeah.
And so Bailey just went full wood and just lit it on fire and came home with 7th overall in the grudge match.
Nice.
Just put a smackdown on those turbo cars.
Dude, good job, man. Way to drive.
And I have to say, a quick plug for Honda. The car still looks incredible. It's going to be on display at Anaheim 3 this weekend in the pits, celebrating our win at KOH. And we're taking it to Anaheim dirty. And as it finished the race, and you can see that there's some scratches on it from the rollover, but mechanically that car could go another 500 miles easily, 500 race miles.
Yeah, that says a lot for the product itself. But I'm still, if I make it to Anaheim 3, I'm going to go take pictures of all the scratches and tag Bailey on it.
For sure. He'll be buffing them out next week.
Oh yeah, I'll come in there, wax on, wax off.
Yeah,
That's right.
Perfect. Get that thing all shined up. But yeah, so obviously, you did the grudge match and had some good fun stuff there. But was that your favorite part of the whole week?
So I think maybe even better than that is after actually both races, getting to hang out with all the people that actually made it happen. The crew, my crew, Jeff, all the people that really made it possible, and actually get to sit back and say thank you and just have a good time, and everybody's smiling, everybody's happy, and there's nothing really quite like that time. And it's good.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. And that's actually the legitimate reason that we started the Dirt Life show, is because of that camaraderie and because of the things that the off-road community provides and gives back to us. When I see everybody doing that, there was tons of people that faced adversity and didn't come through with a victory like you, but they all are saying the same thing. You know what? I spent such good time with family, friends, business partners, sponsors, all of these different people, and everybody comes back with a smile on their face, even if they're deflated. So it's good that you say that, man, and bring that to light. I really appreciate that mentality.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
All right, Jeff, give us your favorite part of the whole week as well.
I kind of opened with it, to be honest with you. It's such, KOH, like I said, it's tough to put into words the magnitude of the event unless you're there. But I mean, it's just incredible to have 100,000 plus people out on a lake bed racing for 10 days. It's really hats off to the live feed is incredible. If anybody hasn't seen any of the races, you can go on YouTube and watch them post race. The broadcast and the media that this event has is really first in class in off-road racing. And I hope more series kind of catch on to what Dave's doing with Ultra 4, because it's really best in class as far as media and being able to promote our sponsors and giving accessibility to the fans to a sport that typically is very tough to follow.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. And I couldn't say any more about it. And I do think that there is other organizations and sanctioning bodies that are putting a little bit more effort into it. I know I've personally had calls from a lot of the local organizations that are asking me to see what they can do to help with some of the technology efforts and stuff. And the Dirt Life is actually trying to do the same thing as well. So as much as our sponsors are helping us promote the show, we're also trying to put together equipment so that we can help some of these organizations do it with the technology and the equipment. So I really appreciate this, that you say that, Jeff, because it brings a lot of light to understanding getting this out there and showing people to go to the races. When I saw how many people were at the King of the Hammers, I don't know what it was. I mean, some people said 30,000, some people said 100,000, but 30,000 is an insane amount of people. And that's like what shows up to a Supercross race, right? And so if you can show that to all of the other people, there's going to be so many more people that get involved in racing and off-roading and side-by-sides and all of these different things. So it's just a huge win-win when you think like what you just said, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great for this sport, and we're definitely appreciative of it from a team perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And it pays back your sponsors. It does all kinds of stuff, right? The trickle-down effect is massive when you have this. And so we appreciate everybody watching the Dirt Life show. We appreciate people having such a passion towards the Honda Talent program, off-road racing itself. Obviously, you guys both have fans of your own. So it's really cool to see this, and it's cool to see the individuality that both of you guys bring to the sport. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you, George. We appreciate what you do.
Yeah. So one last thing I want each of you to do is maybe just to give a shout out to all of the team members and stuff that helped you, because it was a long, grueling week, and obviously some of your partners.
You want to go first, Jack?
Go for it, Bailey.
My main crew member is actually sitting right over there. Sean Schumacher.
What's up?
He's my crew chief, head mechanic, kind of everything. Follows me at all the races, and I need a little help driving. Shows me how it's done sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's awesome. And all the Honda guys that were out there, and a couple of the Bronco guys that really make everything happen. They're all wonderful and really make it happen.
And we know that you got a bunch of other partners as well. We don't
People
have
to thank. I mean, the guys in my shop put in so many countless hours leading up to every race, especially KOH. So I got to thank Cole and Evan Weller and Kevin and Cody. Gosh, the Brews, the Savage Brothers, Jeff Randall, everybody that comes out and supports our team in the pits. It takes 11 guys to pit the ridgeline to do tires and fuel, and then all the guys behind the scenes to get 2 Talons ready to go. I mean, countless hours. I can't say enough about how much effort that these guys put in to get a capable race car to the start line, let alone finish. Tires were so strong out there. Steelite coatings, Fox shocks. I mean, the list goes on. Warren Industries, Warren and Factor 55 are such key components to this race from a winch standpoint. So, got to thank those guys. And I think the show is over.
No, you're good, man. I just had to give a little bit of battery power for this iPad that we're doing Instagram Live through. It's pretty cool that you guys have so many partners that are on board. So it's rad to understand that to come across the line victoriously, it takes that many people, and you guys appreciate every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like Warren, for example. We're a desert racing team, but you have Warren and Factor 55 that jump on board just for this one-off race to support us with soft shackles and winches and winch lines and everything and all the rigging that it takes to be successful at KOH. I mean, incredible companies like that, and we're so appreciative.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool to see, man. And like I was saying before, it's like the camaraderie aspect of it and the way that everybody just comes together. I mean, like Bailey, there's no way you can do it by yourself. Jeff, there's no way you can do it by yourself. And that's what we like to highlight on the Dirt Life Show.
Yeah, no, it's 100% a team sport. And I honestly feel like the drivers have one of the easier jobs out on that lake bed. But it's amazing that we even get to go.
Yeah, it is super cool, man. Well, congratulations to both of you guys. We really appreciate you guys taking the time with us. We'll have to hit up some pedaling soon, Jeff.
Yeah, let's go for a spin. I definitely need it. I went yesterday, and I feel like I hadn't ridden in months. So, let's go for a pedal.
All right, man. Well, we'll see you soon, Jeff. I appreciate it. Looks like Bailey's having a little bit of internet connections, but we really appreciate Bailey coming on and hanging out with us. All right, well, we'll see you soon, Jeff. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bailey. We really appreciate you coming on as well. And congratulations to him, too. We didn't get to talk about it, but he did a good job in the Ford Bronco as well. It was cool to see him going out there, pulling double duty and hanging out, just having a great time. So we're going to see if we can get Travis Zollinger on the show. Unfortunately, we had to wait to get him on later. What's up, Craig? How are you? Hey, Travis. What's up, buddy?
Not much. How you doing, George?
We're doing good, man. So King of the Hammers was a long week, a long few months leading up to it. You guys came out there. Zollinger came out with 2 brand new cars that you guys custom built for the event. Man, you guys were just coming out guns blazing. So how did it go?
It went pretty well. The desert race, I ran the RS1 that I had ran in the Baja 1000. And the prologue, I broke a belt, and that set me back pretty bad. But had a great desert race, and I honestly haven't checked the results for sure. But Ryan Piplick told me that I took 5th in the desert race, which I was in a naturally aspirated car against all the pro turbo guys and started in the back of the field. So like that was fun to get that going. The new car qualified it really well, better than I've ever done before qualifying. And maybe due to pre-running a lot, and I've put in a lot of miles the past 2 years out in the desert, and I smacked a rock in the rock race, and that pretty well finished the race, fixed the car and got it back to the main pit. But when I got it there, had broke too many things.
Yeah,
So.
it just is what it is, though. Like, we were actually talking about this a little bit on the show, but previously, a lot of people take brand new products out there and a lot of stuff to be able to go test at places like that. You obviously do a lot of product development in the racing circumstances with Zollinger Racing products, but you can't ever, I mean, you get deflated, right? Because you want to go out there and win. Every racer does, like just like yourself, but you can't really do that because you got to understand how much you're trying to progress to progress the industry as a whole, for lack of a better term, right? So you got to come back with your head held high, knowing what you can do better.
You know, the thing is we had, I think all three guys were running our parts on the top of the box in the UTV Pro. We've been on a good streak of that, and man, we wouldn't have learned what we learned if I didn't go and crash the car. The only other way we could do it is if we straight up ran it into a brick wall, and that's kind of what we did.
Yeah, I mean, but we've talked about it again in the show a little bit before. Like, the adversity that KOH can throw at you and the things that you don't know are going to happen is pretty insane, right? I mean, how do you know something like that's going to happen? You think you go out there fully prepared, and it just is what it is.
Yeah, I think Tom Ways, I remember he said that it's like a puzzle that you try to figure out the fastest.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, the things that'll get thrown your way from KOH, that's what I love about that place. It's super cool.
So we've made a couple jokes, like RJ Anderson, we call him a big rock guy now since it was his first race out there, and different things like that. But you've been out there a few years already, and you kind of know what to expect. Give us a little bit of an understanding of what you were doing building those new cars with the expectations that you have for KOH.
That's the thing is try to build the best car that you can, and I need to get better at getting prepared. And that's probably the biggest thing is man, KOH sure magnifies your weaknesses. That's for sure.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy though, right? But like I said before, you got to rest on your laurels and know that you did a good job. I mean, you operate a big company, and you need to make sure that you're giving time to the race resources, but that's obviously secondary. So it's crazy to see that you were able to still come out, get everything accomplished, and go out there and put your best foot forward. Maybe not as much sleep as you wanted to, but still you went out there and you did a good job.
Yeah, thank you. We always try to do the best that we can, and yeah, we have a lot of fun out there racing, and that's probably the biggest thing is just getting to go and see our buddies and go pre-run with them and then race, and yeah, it's so much fun.
I didn't see who the comment came from, but they said thank you very much for getting their differential help out with getting back in the 4,400 race. So you must have helped some other racers out there as well.
Yeah, while I was waiting for my parts in pit one, I helped change an axle in actually the guy who I was following when I hit the rock.
Oh, crazy, right?
Yeah, and that's all how KOH is, man. So yeah, his co-driver was struggling a little bit changing the axle, and I jumped in and helped him swap it out, and then my parts showed up, and I fixed my car, and we moved along.
So I'm not a KOH expert by any means, but one of the guys, it was Jason Merrill from the UTV Wolfpack. He told me, he goes, the quicker you can move the guy in front of you and help him, the quicker you get going. And I was like, dude, that is such a cool part of the race.
Oh, absolutely. Like last year, I think we were going up Outer Limits or Spooners, one of the two. I can't remember which was the first one up last year. And my car was broke. It was in 2-wheel drive. And
oh, crap.
Man, I held probably 6 cars up and through a spot. And then I was like, hey, guys, it's my turn. And it was one of the Honda team co-drivers hooked me up and helped me pull through.
Dude,
So.
that's crazy, man. But that camaraderie thing, like I was telling Jeff and Bailey, is like exactly why we started the Dirt Life show, because there's nothing like it in any other motorsport.
Yeah, and I think it's really highlighted the Ultra 4 culture. I've raced with those guys for 4 years now, and man, they go hard, and they don't let things slow them down. I always feel like after an Ultra 4 race, you're a harder, stronger human.
I can guarantee that some of those guys that just got done with that, and you probably are one of them, after that whole week, they don't feel like a stronger, harder human, but they will in the next couple of weeks when they realize what they've been through, right?
Absolutely.
So overall, how did the weekend go? The week, I guess.
Yeah, great. I put in some time in our new Pro R. Out in the desert, put a couple 100 miles on that car, and that thing's a brute.
Yeah, they're crazy, right?
It's a whole nother level of car that's above what we currently had. And yeah, that thing, I don't know what it compares to, because I've only driven UTVs up to this point. I haven't got to jump in any sort of a big car, but it can eat more shit than what we have.
Yeah,
for sure.
I can definitely attest to that. So I didn't have very much time in one, but when I spent a little bit of time in the Pro R out in Texas at Texplex, we were probably doing, 45, 50 down one of the back straightaways, punched it, and it still broke all 4 tires loose. It was insane. I was just like amazed by what the next level of the UTVs is going to be. It's pretty cool to see the industry. So, I don't want to sidetrack this at all, but it sounds like Zollinger is actually going to do some pretty cool stuff for those vehicles too.
Yeah, for sure. We identified a couple problems, and we tore the car completely apart today. We were scanning parts. We scanned it when we were out in the desert before I went out pre-running to make sure and get a straight frame and everything else. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. We got a lot of stuff coming.
Oh, right on, man. So what was one of the best parts of the whole event? I know a lot of guys have said, hanging out with their friends and obviously having the camaraderie and stuff like that. But what was it for you?
I think one of the biggest things that going down to the big fire, and people are just in a great mood and happy. And it's cool to just go and meet new people and hear what they're all about.
Yeah,
I know. I talked to 3 or 4 guys. It was their first KOH.
Really?
So,
yeah. There was a bunch of people. I feel like it was their first KOH. What did they say about it? Were they just like, "Dude, screw this," or "I can't wait to get back here"?
No, they were just pretty big-eyed, and I told them it's not normally this cold out here.
Oh, it was pretty freaking cold, and it was dusty. But I guess if you want to talk to the hardcore off-road guys, that's just the way that they like it. They need to face some adversity to get out there and have some fun. So did you take the whole family out there?
No, just me and the support crew that came out to race. My wife was actually going to come out, and when she heard how cold it was and dusty, she bailed. So
I was going to do that too, but I unfortunately had to work, so I couldn't bail out of it.
Yeah, she's been to KOH before, and like we get up early, we go pre-running, and then we're usually working on cars and working on them fairly late, depending on how much shit we tear up out pre-running.
Yep.
And it's a lot of work. I know you talk to all these guys, and that's what I think the resounding word would be, is they all put in a ton of work. And man, what a lineup of guys you talk to today, like truly like the tip top of the industry. Unbelievable talent in the UTV class. I feel just super fortunate to even be able to go out and race against those guys. I think the Rock UTV race is the most talent deep race on the planet with the most like even playing field, and that's why I try to build myself a super car, because I don't think I have the skills to drive with most of those guys.
Yeah, but that's doing two things. It's first of all getting your creative process going so that you can build better stuff to get out there and do it. But it's also pushing the industry forward. So I love when I see stuff like the things that you're doing. And obviously it's coming to fruition too. You not only did you have a good time as well as everybody else did, but I agree with you 100% that these guys are pushing the industry forward, and they're making these little golf carts really turn into something fantastic. So I can't wait to see what the future has.
For sure. Yeah. I guess we're dreaming it now, and we'll get to see it in the next couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. If you had to pick one of the portions of the race, actually, that was like, I don't know, your favorite or your sketchiest moment, what would you pick?
Oh, sketchiest moment. Hitting that rock. That's the hardest I've ever hit anything in my whole life.
Really?
Yeah. It's car stopped super fast. That was the sketchiest by far. The dust
okay
this
after
year.
It, though?
Yeah. Okay. I feel okay. The safety equipment that we have and whatnot, it's pretty unbelievable how well it works.
It is pretty amazing, right? I always think that too, and I'm so glad that people have the safety equipment that we do have nowadays to be able to make sure that everybody stays intact and the racing organization can keep doing the things that they do. Those guys started prepping for the event, Dave Cole and his whole crew, I think back in November or something like that. So for them to do such a grandiose event is phenomenal, and for us to be a part of it, we want to do everything that we can to make sure that it continues for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys, I know Dave puts in and all his help, just a unbelievable amount of effort to pull that off. And big thanks to them.
Yeah, 100%. And then obviously we're getting some great media coverage through it, and obviously the side-by-side guys like yourself, me, are really getting a lot better coverage with it. So it's really cool to see that portion of it as well. But the Mint 400 is doing a very good job at that too. So hopefully I'll get to help them again this year. Are you going to attend that? Is that what is next on your list?
That is the next race on my list. I was emailing today to see if I can run the same car that I ran in the rock race, if they have a class for me. It performance-wise and everything, it should qualify for UTV Unlimited, but they in the top rule it says 2-seat race car.
Oh, okay. So you'll have to see what happens, huh?
Yeah. Hopefully there's a class I can run it in.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Both of those cars that you guys had on the jigs, man, are pretty cool. Riley sent me a few pictures of those bad boys. They look good, man. So I miss you out there because we were so busy, but it was cool to see, the live coverage and to see, obviously you did well. So I think you did well. It's really cool for me to be able to just watch all of this stuff and my friends doing good.
Well, I appreciate it. We always try to do our best. So
yeah, 100%. All right, so I asked the other guys a little bit before, like, what's the move? Because you had 11-hour drive home or something. What's the move when you're driving home? Are you thinking about what you're going to do better for next year? Do you clear your head? Like, how does your race strategy improve when you're driving home? Because I know that's a really good time to think.
That's exactly what happens every time. From nationals in Oklahoma, as soon as I got in the truck, it was thinking about KOH and trying to get ready for that one. And as soon as you finish KOH, I think it's impossible not to think about going right back to it.
Yeah.
For KOH again. It's such a massive race for us. And but yeah, got to switch to the Mint, and yeah, we've won there before. I'd love to go do it again.
Yeah, it would be really cool to see you on the top of the box at the Mint. Well, I appreciate you staying up late, and I apologize for having to move the segment around a little bit, but it was awesome to get to talk with you, and I really think that all of the things that you did this year, all of the testing that you did this year with the cars and stuff, it's just going to make it that much more fruitful or that much more better to see the smile on your face next year when you do well.
For sure. Thank you very much, George.
No problem, man. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Travis.
Thank you. Yep. Have a good one.
You too. So we'll just wind down the show here real quick. That was super cool to see everybody, man. Thank you so much. We had a stacked show tonight. There was so many people that we got to talk to. I know it was a long show, going on 3 hours now. So I appreciate all you guys joining us and hanging out. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you guys are our lifeblood. So please, as much as you can share the show, please share it and help us out. Keep us growing. You guys are doing such a great job. So please keep it up. We appreciate you guys so much. So much so that we have a sponsor deals page on the dirtlifeshow.com. So go check it out. You can learn how to get sponsored. You can learn how to get, or you can get deals on from all of our partners. And yeah, it's just a good resource. So head over there, dirtlifeshow.com, hang out. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to guys over at KMC Wheels, EFX Tires. Thank you to guys at Motul. You can see some of their products that IMG uses over here. Thank you to the guys at IMG for having us at the shop, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you to James for co-hosting with me. We really appreciate the guys at Shock Therapy. Use code DIRTLIFE over at shocktherapyusa.com. Evolution Power Sports, they're a new sponsor for this year, so thank you to the guys over there. They took all 3 top spots in the UTV class on Thursday at KOH. Obviously, thank you to Zollinger Racing Products, Travis, for coming on the show. You can use the code TheDirtLife at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. Thank you to the guys over at CryoHeat. Thank you to the guys over at Solderweld. We really appreciate you guys the most, though, man. All of you guys for listening to the show, hanging out with us. You guys are our lifeblood, so please keep hanging out. And you can also share it, I think, on iTunes and Spotify as well. So anything you guys can do to share it with your friends really helps us out a lot. So what do they always say? Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. So please do as much as you can. Next week, we have Ruslan Greasehands is going to come on. So it's been just over a year since we talked to him last time. So we'll probably do it right here again in IMG Motorsports. So we really appreciate you guys all for joining us. KOH was an insane race. Thank you to all of our guests. We really appreciate everybody coming on. CJ Greaves, Kyle Chaney, Scotty Lawrence, Dustin Jones, Dustin Henderson, Travis Zollinger, Hunter and Cody Miller, RJ and Ronnie Anderson, Blake Wilkey, Jeff Proctor, Bailey Cole, Daniel Schenkelberg for joining us, and every single one of you for commenting in and hanging out with us tonight. We will see you guys. Oh, and thank you to 4 Wheel Parts, too, because they provided us with a lot of the content over here that we showed on our intro and stuff like that, too. So we really appreciate them giving us all that info. Really appreciate you guys. We will see you guys next week. Love you. Good night.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show. See you next week.